Hello and welcome to Overwatch University League. This is week 3 for North America. I'm Pimpin' the Crib, and joining me today is Mushu Beef and Mukai Kubo. How are you doing, Mushu?
Doing well. Doing well. How you doing, Pimp?
I'm doing great. And you, Mukai?
Doing absolutely wonderful.
All right,
Yeah.
good to hear. So for today, we got two matches. We got Division 6 Group A match between Animal Planet and Kaiviti, right? That's how you say it, right?
That is how you
All
pronounce it.
right, Kaiviti. And then for our game 2 coming up probably around 7:30 Central Time, we have from Division 4 Group B, the Squid Squad and Who Watches the Overwatchers. So as we said, first up, we are going to be having Animal Planet in Kaiviti. We did have some research come out by our boy Mukai Kubo here. So tell us a little bit about Animal Planet.
So for Animal Planet, they've got an 8-person roster. The 6 they're bringing right now, it looks like to me a 2-2-2. Their leader and captain's a Lucio main, Ham Planet, and he's going to be looking for a lot of the boops. He plays a very boop high style. So starting out here on Nepal, if they play on the pit, if they get to that map, look out to see Ham Planet go crazy on Lucio. Another thing is Lucio Age. They plays so there are a bunch of different ways to play Soldier 76. The way that Nuclear Age plays it, he sticks with the team. He drops a lot of biotic fields. He doesn't really try to flank at all. He plays the death ball, kind of the backbone of the squad there. So look out for those two things most of all, I think, with Animal Planet. And if things get a little crazy, Testcraft is their Mercy main and plays an extremely aggressive Mercy. Loves the pistol, doesn't use the staff as much as some other Mercies, but gets a lot of picks as Mercy.
Yeah, and I see that they listed both their tanks as main tanks having Reinhardt and Winston. Do you know? Is that suspect that we're going to see them swapping between off tank and main tank, or do you think they're going to be running that double main tank going in there?
They say that they're perfectly able to run two main tanks. The Virginia Slim does flex to Diva, and with the new Diva changes, that's viable. But most of their players, they say, they picked them because of their ability to flex between multiple different heroes in the same role. So if one person's getting countered, I'm looking to see early and often changes off.
Yeah, and if you see here, their division SR or their team SR is about for season high about 2358, and if you look at the division average SR for the teams in this division is season high about 2055. So they're on the upper echelon of this division. The borderline probably going into Division 5. Now on the other side, let's go ahead and look at Kaiviti and see them. They're a bit lower tier. As you see, their average is actually below gold. So they're on the lower scale. I don't think we have that many silver teams in Division 6, which is our lowest division actually. I think we might have less than half of the teams in there are silver. It could be
Yeah,
more.
absolutely.
But yeah, you see they're at 1908. So what did you find out about that team?
They are our only Fijian team, and I believe our only Pacific Islands team. They say that they play on the North America servers. They usually get about 200 ping, so that's going to be an interesting thing to track is how well they're able to compensate for that. I will note that Goofball, who's their captain in this Farah main, has an extremely good accuracy on Farah, period, over 60%. And when you consider that that's usually on 200 plus ping, that's an incredible accuracy.
That's super solid for sure. And also, one thing else they noted was that they're IRL friends. So, I mean, maybe the power of friendship will overcome the ping. It sounds like it's worked in for them in the past. So we'll see if it works against a team on lower ping.
Yeah, and what I noticed there is that they have most of them listed themselves as flex players. So it looks like they're going to be switching out a lot. You see, we only see one tank and one support there. So do we know who's going to be playing support and who's going to play in that extra tank role out of those flexers, or are they pretty much going to be swapping all the time?
Probably, I expect to see Babied in a lot on Mercy. With the current patch that's live, you almost always have to have a Lucy, and Babied in looks to me like they're going to be one of the most experienced people they have on that key hero.
Okay, and another thing to point out. So you're talking about ping. They listed someone as playing Junkrat and Pharaoh. So those are two hit scan players. You don't, or not hit scan. Those are two projectile heroes. But they also listed 2 hit scans, so it's kind of crazy. You have, the 2 main projectile, some main projectiles, that can have some random. You don't really need, your ping isn't affected by it as much. But then you have the 2 hit scan heroes. A ping, you can really mess you up with those kind of heroes. So, I don't know. That's kind of interesting there.
So, yeah, we're going to be starting on Nepal, and then Mushu. Where are we going after that? What is the sequence of maps for this league?
Yeah, for sure. So after we have our control map again this week is Nepal, like you mentioned. Then after that is going to be the hybrid, then the assault, then escort. So we're playing all 4 maps no matter what, and it's just going to be depending on the map score. So you could have a 4-0, could have a 3-1, could have a 2-2. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to play all 4 maps no matter what, just like in World Cup. Yeah, the group stages. So
we are just about ready to start here, just making sure that the teams also are. And again, after this, we're going to have a Division 4 matchup between Who Watches the Overwatchers and the Squid Squad.
Yeah, so any predictions, you guys? I mean, we do have, almost a 500 SR gap between these teams, but what do you guys think who you going with?
Between the SR gap and between having to play up a ping hill, it's going to be hard for Kaiviti to win this one. I'm hoping they can take a map off of here because they do have a few maps they think they're good at. They wouldn't tell me which ones. But overall, I think I rate Animal Planet a little more highly here. But let's find out.
What about you, Mushu? Anything you want to...
just to mix it up, be a little bit spicy, I'm going to go with Kaiviti here. I feel like the power of friendship is going to trump anything else that's going to be all the challenges of the ping, and then also the coordination for sure.
Yeah, one thing I do want to point out, though, is Animal Planet, we didn't mention this before, Animal Planet is actually 3-0 right now. So they're leading their division right now. And you have Kaiviti, who hasn't played a single game yet. So we don't really know what to expect. Okay, if we saw, Animal Planet hasn't played a game and Kaiviti was 3-0, then I would agree with you there, Mushu, about the power of friendship. Chemistry playing a big role. But just looking at that, they haven't played a game. We don't really know anything that's going to happen with this team. And, being all flexes, that's, bold strategy. So let's get in this game. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna have to go with Animal Planet just on those numbers right there. But we'll see.
It's all right. I'm used to going against the odds here. Gonna have to we'll see how's it going. I believe in Ham Planet. Like you said, the boobs are gonna be strong. I feel like we're definitely gonna be going to hopefully Sanctum on the next map. So yeah, we'll see it up. But we are gonna be loading right in the game. Should be already there. Animal Planet on the red side. We have Kaiviti on the blue. So Mukai, you talked about before in the pregame on the side of Animal Planet, looking for Ham Planet on the Lucio to get in the boops and nuclear for the hit scan. Anyone we should be looking for on the side of Kaiviti?
I would say keep an eye on Manu. He's going to be their soldier. He's going to be a lot of their DPS. They're going to need him to have a very good game to win here.
That sounds good. Look, they're engaging up on this upper platform. Both teams starting to trade damage, but more of the health is draining out on the side of Kaiviti. As we do see the chaser flank on the backside, Kisei Wolf trying to poke in there, so does jump out, knows that they moves towards the control point, so going to be out here, actually uncontested. Animal Planet going to be taking the point early.
And again, popping Virginia Slim out of the Diva quickly and then getting the pick on Baby Diva, that's going to be huge for Kaiviti. Excellent first engage there.
Yeah, for sure. We do see a trade here. Kaiviti starting to get the kills. We get 2 kills from Goofball, and we do have the ultimate already coming out from Manu, and they flip the point almost just as quickly as Animal Planet took it.
And that's an exceptionally quick charging ult. Lele also has sound barrier up. Testcraft does have Valkyrie up and ready, though. But again, that first engage, it was back and forth for a long time up on the high ground. But I think that Animal Planet, they disengaged from high ground kind of piecemeal. And it was 3v3, so Kaiviti was able to get a pick up top and then push forward.
That's right, Nuclear is holding on to that tactical visor from the back. We do have the sound barrier coming out from the side of Kaiviti, so looks like they start to back out on the side of Animal Planet. So Nuclear is starting to flank on the right side, is going to pop out that ultimate, but that Winston Bubble is going to deny all that damage down, and he goes down. But he does get res from the Mercy. So we'll see if she pops her Valkyrie as they are all going onto the point. All ultimates pretty much being used. Self-destruct is going to be coming out right in the middle. It does take out the Lucio from the blue side, so Testcraft going to be keeping people up as well, even though they lost that soldier so early on. That Valkyrie was popped as well to make sure that they got the double res.
Yep, and that, again, I think it was Animal Planet engaging 6v6 instead of leaving 3 of their players to try to hold off all of Kaiviti at once, like in the first engage. That was a good retake. They did get it only with 56% on, though.
That's right, so we see regrouping. Like you said, 56%, so still ahead, still leading, but it is ticking up. You look at the ultimates. Seafood is the closest to the ultimate on the McCree. I'm trying to find just one more shot or so. We'll bring out the Deadeye. But this Winston Bubble is doing so much damage denial, so he does finally get that ultimate, so we'll see where he decides to pop that out.
And Goofball was chasing a wounded Squishy. Unfortunately, overcommitted a bit on the chase, I think expecting to get rezzed early. And as a result, Goofball opened up the fight by getting picked off. And that let Animal Planet push them a little far back.
Virginia Slim getting a double kill off of that self-destruct, and now they're pushing them all the way back. So many ultimates invested to keep Animal Planet on the point and keeping in control. And they're going to pop out this Primal Rage as well as the Winston. Sir Penguin just jumping right in, just trying to keep them into their own spawn because they're occupied out here and they won't be on the point.
And whenever you see a team pushing that far forward, something's either gone very wrong or very right. So now Kaiviti has to kind of regroup from that. They're close to a lot of ults, so this push I think is going to be the critical one because it's really the last they'll get.
Yeah, that's right. You hear those ticks coming down. That's 10 seconds left to get into the point. They do have the Lucio ultimate. Here comes Lele. He's going to come out with the sound barrier, but they're going to go right into the Graviton Surge, who groups them all together, but no damage is going to be taking anyone out. Grooveball does find the damage onto the Lucio, but Handplanet gets taken out and rezzed right away. I'm going to see coming out from the left side. Manu trying to put out damage from as well, but there's so much tank, so much health pool on this point here, and just losing members from the side of Kaiviti. Looks like the ping isn't really mattering here.
Absolutely, and what I think happened there, Goofball hit the Graviton Surge. There was nobody nearby who could really pair that with a lot of damage. And the heartbreaking thing is about 5 to 10 seconds later, Primal Rage was going to activate. If they had waited, I think they might have been able to reverse that fight. But because it's, we're talking about, well, maybe this, maybe that, that was a closer scope fight than I think I expected. So if Kaiviti can fix some of those little technical mistakes on the fringes, I think they're going to do well on this next map, even though there aren't a lot of boops available. And Seafood's going to be bringing out the hog for this one.
Ooh, interesting.
I do like that pick, given the composition that Animal Planet's brought out. It'll let him punish those squishies a lot more. And there's not a lot of beef aside from, Winston and Diva on Animal Planet.
That's right, yeah, they're running this solo. Actually, no, they do have 2 tanks there on the side of Animal Planet. But yeah, just like you said, Seafood here, we're going to be looking to see if they can bring in a hook, and does land one very early on to the Winston. They're going to be burning him down, just like you said. But that early res, that Mercy change is making a huge difference here. It can send in that tank and be very aggressive here. The trade is going to be going on both sides. So you see both members, both teams on this point, but oh my goodness, Goofball with the 91% charge already, getting so much of that damage. So they're just completely pushing back Animal Planet off of this point.
And it's not the first engage that matters more in this patch, it's the second kill that matters. Because you saw Winston go down, you saw Lucio go down on either side, immediately both got rezzed. And even though Kaiviti got the worst of that fight from a kills point of view, they were able to use their positioning and use that space that Roadhog creates to push Animal Planet off the point so they could take it.
That's absolutely right. And Animal Planet starting to come back here. They use that Lucio boost to get onto the point, and they're sending in the Diva and the Winston. Actually switching over to the Orisa here. They're going to be popping the sound barrier on the side of Kaiviti because they want to be able to maintain this point, and that health pool is going to earn them 2 kills there. Actually, the D-Mech, yeah, and that's going to be the Mercy and the Diva falling as well. So these pick and this Orisa just not able to maintain position on the point, as Animal Planet looks like they're going to have to limp back to their spawn.
And Manu got an absolutely critical Helix Rocket kill on Testcraft as Mercy there, and that pretty much swung the fight. There was no real hope after that. One of the things is Nuclear Rage was sitting up on the high ground and is still sitting there looking for that ult, but never really had a chance to bring it out because the team fight went so south so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, how do you approach this fight? I mean, you have so much damage that can burn down the Orisa shield. They're going to stick with her, but they do have 5 ultimates ready to
I
go. So how do you
Yeah, I
think they
think you
use it?
go in through the high ground, you go in all as a group, and you just throw everything at them because you cannot afford to lose this fight.
There you go. That's going to be Sound Barrier pop for the side of Animal Planet. They know this is do or die. Is 73%. The Orisa set them in the backfield. That's going to be a big Pulse Bomb. Finding onto the back of KC Wolf. I mean, finding Baby Din there. The Graviton Surge is going to be pulling Animal Planet all together, but no damage, no kills are found there. But double kill for Animal Planet as now the tides are starting to turn. Even though the ultimates are popping on the side of Kaiviti, they are just not able to make any impact as Animal Planet takes the point.
And I hate to sound like a broken record, but once more, the Graviton Surge came out, and there was nobody nearby who could really pair with it, because Graviton Surge by itself is not great. What's great about it is the way it sets up others. And KKND had Death Blossom, Seafood had Whole Hog, but neither of them were in a position to use it before Graviton Surge expired.
Yeah, we saw Seafood trying to push everyone off the point, but with a Whole Hog. But by that point, it was pretty much, yeah, it was very futile, just like throwing bad money towards it. But we do see the engage. Seafood's going to be jumping down, trying to make some way for the DPS. But Virginia Slim finding a kill on the Goofball so early. They haven't even engaged here.
But they got strung out. They got strung out on top. Zarya's Goofball was down there on the bottom, and as a result, the picks started to come in. Let's see if they can pull it back, though.
That's where we see Kaviti KKND moving in. He has the Death Blossom ready to go, but he has to throw it out of there. But trying to find it. Oh, but gets booped back, and it's going to be on the wrong side of that Orisa shield when popping the Death Blossom, but still somehow found the Lucio, but it does get res there. You see the fight continues to rage on. That's going to be the Sound Barrier coming out from Animal Planet. They want to maintain this point. They're only 63% versus the 93. KKND just trying to do as much as he can, but it's only him and Lele left. And they both go down. They're Animal Planet, throwing in those ultimates to maintain the point.
Yeah, and that was an unfortunate fight from Kaiviti. Again, I think it was just coordination. It was everyone not moving as a unit, and now they've got an ult advantage to try to claw back against. I would like to see them do kind of a poking fight, try to force them to use an ult Animal Planet doesn't want to, and then push hard. Don't know if they're going to have time anymore, though.
Yeah, they got to start moving in. There's going to be 10 seconds left soon. The Pulse Bomb does find on the back of Lele. This is going to stymie this push as he's trying to pull this left side, and that's going to be the res. Something you would have liked to have saved for this next fight, but Seafood does have the Whole Hog. See where decides to point it out. That's going to be the self-destruct, and we see Seafood going on to the point and using the Whole Hog to completely clear it out, scattering the team, but now they got to find the damage. And in return, though, Animal Planet coming back, getting 2 kills on Manu and Lele. Diva gonna get demec'd here, but we do have the Valkyrie gonna be bringing back Manu, so that's gonna be more DPS into there, but no supports on the side of Kaiviti as they all go down here. Animal Planet with a 2-0 against all odds and all of your predictions, winning over Kaiviti.
No, that was my prediction. There are 2 thoughts that I wanted to say there.
Oh, wait.
The first thing is, it's a small thing, but Sir Penguin as Orisa in that last fight backed up, put the shield in the corner, penned themselves in the corner. Seafood as Roadhog tried to get in after them, but Sir Penguin aimed his pull just perfectly to keep him out of the shield long enough that everyone else could burn down Seafood. That's a great use of the right click from Orisa. The other thing I want to call out, KC Wolf for Animal Planet on Tracer. Every time I looked at the kill feed, they were getting the critical picks in the back line to turn a fight around. Excellent job as Tracer there.
Yeah, for sure. Those early picks were really crucial and completely flipped those teams. I forgot that. Thought that for some reason I was in the right there, but just as usual, we should be making the wrong call. We're moving on to our next map, so we're gonna be waiting for the next election. But again, it's gonna be a hybrid map. So yeah, I mean the coordination. It was so tough there. We saw that, like you said, as they're moving up, and even before getting into the fights, losing a major member. Whether I guess you really in this game, losing anyone before the fight is where you don't want to be. And the Mercy ultimates, like you were saying, it's all about the second engage, right? So after you lose that first person and bring them back, how are you able to fight out of that fight? You have to turn it and get a kill in return. Because if that person that you res goes and dies again completely, then it's pretty much a waste.
Yeah, and it's tough because when you look at this, these are players that are in the silver and gold range. it's when you see them trickle into a fight 1v1, you just have to say, yep, that's one thing that happens at this level. And it's so important for teams at every level to learn the teamwork at least as much as the mechanical skills like aiming. And that's one thing that pretty much anyone can do. And it looks like we're going to be going to King's Row, a very popular pick for this second map. And Animal Planet's going to be on defense first. So Kaiviti is going to attack on King's Row to lead us off on map 2.
Very cool. So, but yeah, so it's going to be. Could see Kaviti bringing out the Junkrat and Pharah here. Junkrat works very well on the hybrid, pushing through this first choke point, but then also in the alleyway phase as well. So we'll be looking to see if Lele brings out the Junkrat as indicated as the main for the hero of choice.
And on Kaiviti, I do like the switch to Roadhog. I think that was the right call to make because Roadhog immediately made their presence felt, landed a lot of critical hooks. It just wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, and I think that you put it best. That they had that team fight that they could have had with Zarya's ult in the bag. They had Whole Hog and they had Death Blossom, but it wasn't used effectively. I mean, it actually got quite a few people in the ult too, and there was just no follow up. Okay, it's one thing. Okay, you whiff the Graviton, and then okay, you don't use any ults, but I mean, we heard the Whole Hog come out, and we heard that we heard the Whole Hog come out. We heard the Graviton go out, but there was no combination there at least. So it's unfortunate. It could have been. They could have had that map easily just from that defense because they lost it at 93%. That was the fight to win and to take that round.
Yeah, and that's something that's easy to fix in practice when it's just a question of the Zarya always saying, I'm about to Graviton, who can pair with me, or looking at the ult status and seeing who can pair with them, and making sure that they don't ult until that person is nearby and ready.
Yep, so looks like we're having teams switch inside right now so that we get the proper defenders on the proper team.
Very cool, yeah, because we want to make sure that I think Kaviti will be attacking, so they should be... Oh. Yeah, got it.
Be on the red team.
Side.
Yep.
And right now we're seeing Kaiviti versus Kaiviti while the team names get changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
I thought there was an easier way to swap teams, but if not, it's something another thing for them to put down on the Blizzard to put down the checklist.
Yeah. So
yeah, I do have some interesting. Actually, Mukai, I don't know if you had something on the topic. If not, I was going to break some. I have some leaks relating to the observing.
No, I just did want to ask, did either of you notice the ping hindering Kaiviti at all? Because I really didn't.
I'm not sure if it was aim or ping, but I was following for a bit. I forgot who was on KKND, who was on the Reaper. Some shots were a little bit questionable. Then I couldn't tell the difference if it was ping, at this level, or if it was just aim in general.
Yeah, I mean, what we saw in the fights, though, they just weren't able to close on the kills. So, I mean, we don't know if that's the ping or if it was more in the play. It'd be interesting to think about like how much of the contribution is it due to the playability versus versus the ping. Right. I mean, we'll never really know. So I'm going to see, like, they know by doing this league that they're going to be playing into an NA server. Right. So we're going to see how they decide to play around it. And already we see, I believe. OK, now that we've swapped sides. So now Lele. Yeah, still on that Lucio. So we won't see the Junkrat, unfortunately. They could swap. But something that we could expect to see is that, projectile and the something with splash damage could be something very good here. But looks like for the first point, they're not going to elect to do that.
But KC Wolf is going to be swapping from the Tracer onto the Pharah so that they can build a pharmacy with Tess and KC Wolf on defense for Animal Planet. So that's an interesting pick. I like it. Let's see how it actually works out, though, because Kaiviti does have 2 hit scan players, but they're working with high ping.
That's right. Yeah, we'll definitely have to watch them. But guys, we are in King's Row. Again, Kaviti on red side and Animal Planet on blue. defending first.
Smoking's bad for your health.
Well, I have faith you can get
Ham
me
Planet.
back up.
No other real
Breaking it down.
surprises on either side, I don't think, in the comps. Looks like a 2-2-2 on both sides. Nothing out of the ordinary for this meta.
3, 2, 1. Attack commences.
That's right, so we'll see how they decide to play. KKND is definitely the person to watch here on that Winston,
Enemy contact.
because he's going to be the person engaging, right? We have that ultimate, the res ready to go from the Mercy right away. You can afford to send in a tank, send him in and be aggressive, or you can play how you normally do and then be able to answer for a mistake. But we do see Kaviti here starting to work on the upper ground, want to establish themselves and poke out on to see if they can get a pick onto Casey Wolf, but already up to 35% on that ultimate. That cannon barrage will be ready to go, but KKND starting to sneak on this upper ground here. But Casey Wolf finds a kill onto Lele, so they're going to have to use that res onto that Lucio to make sure that supports can go. But that's going to be the Winston knocking back the soldier, now jumping onto the lower ground, so now they do have that upper ground advantage.
What I really liked in the initial push through the theater, two things. Winston dropped the shield at just the right time, and Goofball and Zarya shielded excellently to block a few Pharaoh rockets. Once they got up to this high ground, they seemed to kind of run out of ideas on what to do next, though.
Yeah, look, they wanted to get onto the upper ground and then get some picks, but they get picked in return, so that's going to be 2 going down, so Manu and Goofball going to have to run back. And Goofball doing the switch on the Pharah. Let me see if they can bring in some of that projectile splash damage.
Yeah, and that does make them a triple DPS comp. They did say that they had this in their pocket if things weren't going well. And I think Goofball on Pharah is the right pick here. I think they've got to back out and just back out, take a breath, think about what they're doing, because these first engages have not been going well.
Yeah, that's right. We do see Goofball go to the backline and then went on a Pharah versus Pharah battle. Meanwhile, the rest of Kaviti was trickling and dying to Animal Planet. So, I mean, it's always a challenge when you're a Pharah, playing into a Pharah. Do you try to go for the other Pharah, or do you do the damage that is more reliable onto the ground? As Goofball's caught out way in the front here, only 16 HP, but does get into the biotic field and the healing from the Mercy.
And Baby doesn't seem to be wanting to pocket Goofball at all, not wanting to damage boost them, just leaving Goofball alone and trusting them to take care of business on their own. And it's working for them. That set up Manu's visor there.
Yeah, that was an absolutely huge cannon barrage from Goofball there, because that just completely pulled everyone's attention to the back. And we're going to see that replay there of Goofball's the cannon barrage, but then going right into the Manu ultimate as well, completely clears out the point, and they're able to take the first point and move into the next phase.
And I almost wonder is if as soon as that barrage went out, the call went out for Animal Planet, save your ults, and just accept that as a lost fight, because now they've got pretty much all 6 ults ready for this first hold at the choke point.
Yeah, they do. And Lele holding on to that sound barrier, so gonna have to be popping it at the right moment. So, but getting, yeah, there's gonna be one of that pick onto the Manu, but probably can afford that here. They want to keep this push going through this next phase. Is the Reinhardt shield starting to get a little bit lower than they'd like. KKND holding on to that Primal Rage. Can pop that ultimate to displace everybody, but here comes the Graviton Surge in reply. See how they decide to go into this, but instead they get a kill onto the Reinhardt, so it's like engage gone completely wrong for the side of Animal Planet on the defense.
And that was an excellent defensive effort for Kaviti there. They saw the surge coming in. They didn't let anything go through.
That's right, and you see the cannon barrage just going down onto only getting Seafood here, but Nuclear Rage also picking up a kill as well. So, but it's not enough to stop this push. That they're still able to contest here, and they have the closer spawn, so they're going to have the advantage on the side of Kaviti to continue pushing this.
And now look out for Virginia Slim. They've got very high energy up, and they're pairing that with an Earth Shatter. So they don't need to wait for another big ult to use Earth Shatter. They could just pair it with Virginia Slim Zarya.
That's right, but 2 ultimates here to 2 ultimates. Star Penguin still has that Earth Shatter, like you mentioned. So against no Reinhardt, can be very juicy here, but you see Seafood going down, still holding on to the... Yeah, they do bring him back here, because they do have that Deadeye. It's ready to go. So they want to crack this shield. We're going to see where this Reinhardt decides to use the Earth Shatter. They know that it's going to be here, but they decide to pop it out. 2 DPS ultimates come out at exactly the same time. And where is that Reinhardt ultimate in reply? No, he turns around and just reveals his back and goes down. Animal Planet not doing too well on the defense there.
And once more, Manu, and we're going to see a replay of that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's just going to be, again, the double ultimates from Manu Moon and Goofball. Again, that's what got them to the first point, and that's looked like what's going to take them to this second point as the Cannon Barrage and the Tac Visor combine to just completely clear it out.
Yeah, and seeing those two sync up, it does my heart good because they're in sync very well. I don't know if that's going to be because they know each other in real life, but on this map, they've done a great job playing off each other, not just with the ults, but creating space for each other through normal play.
That's right, and we saw there to secure the second point, Seafood pop that Deadeye. But here they're going to have to be careful going into 3 ultimates to none. Animal Planet here. But they're just completely caught out. Surf Penguin goes down to the tickle gun of the Tesla Cannon. There we do see a reply. Casey Wolf brings out the Cannon Barrage, but getting taken out by Goofball in reply. They do have the sound barrier to keep their health pools up, but now it's just a tank, 2 tanks, and 1 support. And they get booped forward. That's going to be the boot from Lele that you were going to be there. You were calling out.
Yeah, and I like the boop, but it didn't really do much for them. It only scattered Animal Planet a little there.
Oh, big Earth Shatter comes through for Sir Penguin. He's going to be going under the back line, but he gets taken out from the Cannon Barrage. Another ultimate from the side of Kavite as they're going to be going very hard on this next push here. But the res comes through for the Reinhardt, reviving their tank. Going to see here, but they do have the Graviton Surge. But what is going to be combined with? That's going to be combined with a tank. Reinhardt charging right in to solidify the damage.
Yep, and that's what you have to do if you've got a Graviton Surge. You've got to know exactly who is going to throw your damage in and where.
So to see Goofball, oh, does get a boop kill onto the Zarya. That could be very big as they start to move into this next point, but the rest of the team for Gaviti is trailing a little bit, so Sir Penguin gonna have to hold the point here.
And I do love that boop. They were up on their own, just up on the high ground, and Animal Planet just didn't step in the right place. They weren't safe knowing that there was a Pharaoh lurking.
That's right. Seafood not able to get anything with the Deadeye, unfortunately. The res comes through for Sir Penguin. Oh, but the good false bomb getting Manu on the backside of that. We do see the Mercy comes back, does res that soldier, and now pops that Valkyrie. Going to be doing that group healing, but oh my goodness, almost getting taken out from the damage. Now is going to be going to safety here as Kaviti dumps a lot of ultimates into that, but they have to go on the retreat here.
Yeah, and Virginia Slim was the MVP of that defensive hold. Got up on the high ground, bullied the pharmacy off, and then got 1 kill on the far end, contributed to a lot more.
That's right, but guess again, it's going to be Goofball with another Cannon Barrage.
And that's the revenge.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be it. As now we do see the Reinhardt up yet again, though, for the side of Animal Planet. And so they're just contesting so well here. That's going to be also the sound barrier. They just have so much health to work with here. And Kaviti's got to find a way to finalize these kills.
And that's not going to be the way to do it as they lose KK Andy and Manu to a pair of kills there from D.Va and from Tracer. And I think this is going to end up being a stall. I'm not sure Kaviti can get much further than this.
Yeah, they got KK Energy trying to come up from the back, and they got to wait a little bit, though. But overtime is already ticking down. You see it slowly ticking at the top of the screen. Someone's got to get another point, but stalled right before the finish. Great pushes through the first 2 points thanks to the double DPS ultimates, but when the spawn advantage went to the side of the defense, that's when eventually they stalled out.
Yeah, and it seemed like Animal Planet, they were kind of back on their heels after that first comboed ult, and they didn't really regain a sense of what they were doing until the 3rd point. All of the streets phase, they were kind of trickling, they were kind of disorganized. They only really gelled back up when they were inside with their backs to the wall. And you see that a lot on King's Row. A lot of times, Streets map, it can be a stomp one way or the other.
Yeah, for sure. And so you normally don't expect to see DPS ultimates paired like that, but I mean, they made it work, and you can't argue against that. So, but for a defensive side, when they're going to be now that Kaviti is now on the defense, how do you think they're going to have to, what adjustments do you think they're going to make here to be able to hold this?
Well, when you see a double DPS ult like that, you're gambling that nobody with a defensive ult on the other side is going to be able to react in time. It's a gamble because if one person ults and cancels out your 2, you've just really wrecked your economy. Both times Kaviti won that gamble, and that's why they were able to get the first 2 points. It just stopped working on the 3rd point. For what they're going to be able to do on defense here, they're going to bring out Junkrat, and I think that's a good call for them. Lele on Junkrat. It's going to be able to spam a choke point. I think if Lele plays it right, they should be able to keep Animal Planet from going through main at all. So force them through theater.
That's right. And Animal Planet looks like they're only bringing.
5, 4,
Yeah, I was gonna say they only had that one tank,
1.
but now bringing the two. So Sir Penguin going to be on
Capture objective.
the Winston. So we'll see where they get forced here now that they use.
And Lele already has 50% ult charge. That early spam worked great.
Oh man, so big. You're going to definitely see a tire here pretty soon. So we saw Sir Penguin jump in, but then quickly decided to jump back out. But Kaviti a little bit further back on their defense here.
The early pick on Soldier comes where it's going to be a little awkward to try to get a res. So, and that's going to be the signal for a massive engagement here.
Yeah, that's right. Lele on the back, just trying to find some of the grenades to fall, but that defensive matrix from the D.Va is going to be eating up a lot of them as they push them all the way back to the backside of the point. But Lele does get the DMAC with the bomb as well. The tire finds nothing there as Lele is still taking damage on the inside, but Kaviti still is able to hold here as the Sir Penguin goes down on the Winston.
And that one was just a little scattered on both sides, which you kind of expect that on King's Row first point sometimes. Nobody was really able to get a clear leg up until that double kill came out near the end of that team fight. I don't think Animal Planet needs to really change anything. If they keep doing that, they're gonna break through.
For sure, yeah. Nuclear Rage now with Attack Visor as well, and Sir Penguin has that Primal Rage as well, so can pop both of those, and we'll see how they decide to move up into this upper ground here. What Kaviti did on the first time they did this push.
And this is a very good strategy, but you have to have a clear idea of what you do on the high ground, and you don't want to jump down to the low ground that early with Sound Barrier.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to be jumping down here, but the Valkyrie is going to be damage boosting the defense for Kaviti, but Sir Penguin's going to be popping that ultimate, pushing everyone to that backside. He's just trying to go for Lele and does eventually finalize the kill, so he jumps back onto the point, but right into the Graviton Surge. So we'll see if Kaviti's able to battle back from that. Seafood goes down with that ultimate. That Attack Visor was popped.
And that time they got one kill out of the Graviton Surge. That might end up being enough, but I don't really think so.
So we see the self-destruct coming out from Virginia Slim's gonna be taking a triple kill. This offense, this train is about to start rolling off the backside of that excellent self-destruct.
And that caught both Zarya and Winston with their cooldowns down. Otherwise, it wouldn't have caught anyone. We're going to see that on a replay here.
Yeah, I mean, the placement of this, Virginia Slim, I mean, pretty much textbook, but you put it straight up, and if you can't track it in the air where it's going, there's not much cover on this point. So you have to pretty much go all the way past that choke point, which the payload is about to pass under right now. So really great placement and great timing for Virginia Slim.
Yeah, the timing was absolutely key. Saw the shield go down, saw Zarya's shield go up, and then launched it.
That's right, and Sir Penguin's going to be jumping up. Again, keep following up. They want to keep the momentum going, so if you have an aggressive Winston that can stay alive, that is one of the best things that you can have through the Streets phase. As Casey Wolf does find a pick onto Goofball as well, so just thinning out the side of Kaviti.
Good pickoff on Casey Wolf there. That's what they needed because the res was down, but the ult comes out from Testcraft, so that'll negate that. But you did force Mercy to use her ult to win this fight.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the tempo they're able to maintain here. Started with that pick from Sir Penguin and forced out that res, and Manu goes down late as well, so I don't even know if they're going to be able to contest here. They're going to be only having one healer for the side of Kaviti on the defense. They need a hold here if they want to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, they will be able to contest if they want to, but I don't think they're going to try, and wisely so. Goofball's at 80% on the ult. I think they're going to have to rely on this point 3 on Goofball, landing a great Graviton Surge and pairing it hopefully with Lele's Riptire.
Sir Penguin is just a one-man army here. Both supports keeping him alive. You cannot kill this monkey. Kaviti scratching their heads. They have no idea what to do with this ape in the backline.
And Goofball switches off Zarya with ult almost up in order to go to Reaper. Ugh, that's painful, losing an entirely charged Graviton.
That's right, but we do see the Riptire going to the backline. Oh, but Nuclear Rage does take it out here, so he's caught now on this left tunnel. He's going to be able to stay safe. Casey Wolf getting the pick onto Lele, though. They're going to continue to go on this push.
And that does force out the Resurrect, and that might be enough here as Seafood attack visors. So I like the engage from Kaiviti on defense here.
Oh, but Handplane have thrown out that sound barrier. For some reason, they think they can still turn this fight, as Nuclear Rage does pop that tactical visor, so it does take out Goofball. So they're going to be able to, you know, with their spawn is actually pretty close, pretty equidistant, depending for where this payload is on this map.
And Ham Planet felt lucky, ulted, hoping that they could just keep up the momentum. I think it was a bit of an ambitious play, given that they have 3 minutes to go another 25 meters. They really only need to win one team fight. In this position, you want to save up your ults, deploy them all at once in a steamroller.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, but one ultimate on both sides here. Virginia Slim holding on to that self-destruct, looking pretty juicy here, but is trapped up, so it's going to lose the mech, so no opportunity for good positioning there for the self-destruct, as now we see KKND going to be jumping onto the offensive, but hold on, guys. That's going to be Goofball with a double kill, so going to take out the Mercy and the Soldier, so it looks like they'll be able to hold on yet again to this defense.
And very high value targets Goofball got with that Death Blossom as well. The main hit scan and the Mercy. And especially the Mercy, you have to get on an engaging ult like this nowadays.
That's right, and we see now Animal Planet knowing they do have time to work with, but so they want to group up here, and they do make a big change. There's going to be a Reinhardt now. Sir Penguin switching off of that Winston. It got them through the first 2 points, but now they feel like they need the shield for the rest of the team as they push through.
Yeah, and I do like that switch. I think it's decent. It's gambling that Lele just won't immediately knock it down, but I think it's something that they had to do because they were missing a lot of defensive ability.
Oh my gosh, Virginia Slim jumping up from the back. Gonna be doing a flank with the self-destruct, but doesn't get anyone, but it does push up the rest of the team to an uncomfortable position for Kaiviti. But they do a good job cutting out the damage there, so good idea from Animal Planet, but unfortunately execution fell flat.
And what I love that Kaiviti did, when Sir Penguin charged in, they booped him and he went flying across the entire map. So that Rhyme was just nowhere to be found. Ooh, and the Earth Shatter comes out really late in that fight.
Oh, but another defensive sound barrier here from Ham Planet. They wish they could have that for their next push, as they're pretty much just, I mean, they're pretty much all at the point, but it just felt like they just lost so much momentum here. They just wanted to all stay alive. They feel like that this is going to be one of the last pushes, so do have both DPS ultimates here. Casey Wolf does go down, but finds the Lucio before she goes down. So
And now Kaiviti's pulling out all the stops. They can feel it. There's less than a minute left. They feel like they can hold this and win the map.
yeah, that's right. I mean, they had so much momentum going into it, but Sir Penguin's going to be charging past and getting to the hammer and hitting the face off of Seafood. Goofball goes down to the boop of Ham Planet. Wouldn't have it any other way.
And now they've got a long push. They've got to get out and they've got to contest quick. I'm looking for Lele to rip tire quickly here.
That's right, this Rip Tire is definitely going to be something to watch. But Virginia Slim has that self-destruct, going to be opening up the position for the point. Takes out Manu Manu as Seafood is about to go down as well, as he is behind enemy lines here all by himself. Actually, no, he does get back to the rest of his team here. So the team is split up right now. Both backlines are past each other, and Goofball is now on that Pharah. So two ultimates still ready to go. The Valkyrie and Nuclear Ridge also has that tactical visor, but dies before he can use it. So I'm going to see if Testcraft is able to bring back this key target. Just walking around this point here, just trying to keep everyone alive. Still holding on to that ultimate.
4 meters to go in overtime. And is that going to be it? Kaiviti pulls it out.
Oh my goodness. Testcraft just not able to find the right reses there. Just didn't use the ultimate, didn't use Valkyrie at the last second. Probably trying to look for one person before popping that ultimate, but unfortunately the misstep causing the game.
And that was an absolutely incredible third point hold by Kaiviti. It was kind of slipping away from them on the first 2 points there, just like they did on defense. But that third point defense, all of the ults that they needed to hit, they hit just enough. There weren't a lot of spectacular ults coming out, except for maybe that two-person Death Blossom, but they were always doing just enough to unbalance Animal Planet. So now we're 1-1 here as we go into a 2 CP.
Yeah. I mean, super surprising. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see also this last soldier all, I believe, from the defensive side. So Kaiviti, they're able to clear off the point. And I mean, that's really what solidified it, right? I mean, there's so much chaos for Animal Planet as they're pushing through that point. And you saw the confusion, like the Mercy was sitting there in the middle with the ultimate, not picking someone to res. It's like, oh guys, oh you're dead. I mean, you can't hesitate in those situations, but unfortunately, now with the mercy changes, you have to be really, really on point, knowing where your team is dying and knowing who to res in those last moments.
It looks like we're going to Volskaya next. So Volskaya, not a lot of people's favorite 2CP map. We'll see. And we're going to have a short little break here, it looks like.
Yeah, so Volskaya, it's always a fun map to play, depending on what side you're playing as. If you have that, if you can get a good comp going, it's a stall comp, which you'll see, I'd say, a lot more common at this SR range, then it can be a bit interesting and also frustrating for the other team. So I'm kind of interested as to what we're going to see. I mean, we did see Junkrat on Kings Row, but who knows what we're going to see on the side of, or if we're going to see maybe another Orisa. We did see Orisa before on Control, so maybe we'll see a Torbrissa, or maybe we'll see some more Junkrat play coming out from Kaiviti.
What I'm looking for is actually to see if anyone brings out Sombra, because Volskaya is arguably her best map.
Yeah, especially on that first point defense, you can get the ultimate, that EMP, so quickly if your team is using the health pack. So definitely in a 6v6 where you have premates, you can communicate and work that out. I don't know if you guys have tried to do it in solo queue, but it doesn't always work out the best when your team isn't really coordinated around you. But we've seen a lot of great play with, of course, in the contenders and worlds and all the other pro matches that are going on. Sombra, very, very big on first point of any CP.
It's crazy how how big of a difference now Mercy has been making this game, so especially at the low, where the time to kill isn't as high. Mercy can really impact the game here. With that, I am going to be doing a giveaway. Okay, since this I think this might be the first games that we had since the Mercy patch. Am I right?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, because you guys didn't have this last week, right, Mushu? No.
Oh, nice. We did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did last week too.
Oh, okay. Well, this is my first time casting. So anyway, with that, I want everyone in the chat to type Mercy if you want to enter this giveaway for these stickers. So in chat, go ahead, type Mercy if you want to enter the giveaway before we start up this next match. So again, type Mercy. Case doesn't matter. For these, I'll be giving away these stickers. So let's go back to the map. So Volskaya. So we talked about some cheese comps. You talked about Sombra. Now Kaiviti, they had really good success on Kings Row. Their offense just started off maybe a little bit rough, but they ended up using all their ults and was able to get that point. Now Animal Planet, they had, I think, about six ults on that second point that they gave up on that street phase. They gave up that right after pretty much one fight. It was it's not what I don't think we've seen of Animal Planet in the first map. So I mean, maybe their stamina's wearing off. This is a 4-game series. We could see Kaviti come up on top of this.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm looking to see, I know Goofball likes playing Zarya, but every time that they've switched off of Zarya, the entire team has had a lot more success. I would like to see them on a Reaper or a Pharah to start with this time.
Yeah. We haven't seen any Genji, which I'm kind of surprised. I feel, even some Hanzo we haven't seen. So I feel like at least the Genji we see a lot more often, but, we haven't seen Genji at all, but we've seen Tracer. And, I mean, to each their own. I find Genji a bit easier than Tracer.
I'm the opposite.
And we've seen, well, also McCree. We've seen a lot of McCree, someone who's got a high skill cap, because, if you miss a shot, then, it sounds great. Genji at least have some spam with it. And Tracer, you have multiple bullets, but, we've been seeing a lot of McCree, some good, some bad. But, I'm surprised we haven't seen, more, even Doomfist, who knew her hero. I'm surprised we haven't seen any of that.
What I really like about McCree in this meta, though, he's one of the counters to Mercy. because if you get a pick and you guard that first pick and you're quick with your flashbang, you can delete a Mercy before they can res, because that res range is so short now.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure. And I think, you know, just going back to your point about Genji versus Tracer, it seems like both of these teams are picking heroes that can synergize well with each other. So, I mean, Tracer, maybe very likely you feel like you can get back to the safety of your tanks in your front line, even if you're going out and flanking a little bit with that recall or even just the blinks to cover a lot of distance. Whereas Genji, if you're using your dash to get to the back line, then you have no escapes there. So, you know, it could just be just comfort, right? I mean, we kind of expected that, I think, even on the pregame, you know, when people are telling us what their hero mains were, you know, none of them indicated the Genji, but we did have, you know, Casey Wolf, who has been playing a lot of Tracer, of course, indicate that he wants to play Tracer. So, but we are going to be
we got some Sombra,
starting
just
off
like you
soon.
said, Mukai.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to seeing how Ham Planet does on this first point, which med packs they keep hacked, because that's a big part of playing Sombra nowadays. Which med packs do you keep hacked at all times?
Yeah,
And
they're
will
gonna be
your
using
team
the Mega
actually
on the
use them?
left. Yeah, that Mega on the left, and so they're gonna have to retreat back away from the choke point, so they can be careful. But Ant Planet also hacking the mini just to the left of the choke point as well, so definitely a good call there. Some pretty textbook play. Sir Penguin already hitting a lot of people with that defensive, that fire strike, so getting a lot of ultimate charge, 22% already.
And Goofball starting out on the Pharaoh like I had hoped to see, pairing that with Baby Din's Mercy. So we're seeing a Pharmacy on attack here.
Goofball jumping into the back line, using that concussive blast to push into the back line, but that opens him up to a lot of damage, and Animal Planet's going to be cleaning house on the defense for the first defense.
And that's exactly what you want to do on defense. They do allow one escape there, which they would prefer not to, but otherwise, textbook first defense there from Animal Planet.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on the side of Kaviti too, that is kind of the best case scenario since you weren't trickling and dying. Pretty much your whole team died at the same time, so they committed to it. They stuck with the plan, but now Sir Penguin has that Earth Shatter already when Manu Manu only has 55% on that ultimate charge.
And Goofball's gone back to Zarya, which, you know, I understand why they're doing it. I'm just not sure they're going to be able to pair starting out down that much ult, especially with a slow charging ult like Graviton.
Ooh, interesting. And Manu Manu switching off of the Reinhardt, so they're going to be going right into the face of the Earth Shatter, but they don't even need it, as from the back line, a lot of damage falling from Ham Planet. You see they're starting to move around to this right side. Sir Penguin just baiting them to come in, but they do split up around this truck here, so we're going to see, it's going to be interesting to see where Sir Penguin decides to drop that Earth Shatter, but does get a pin kill onto the Winston, but gets killed by on the side from Lele without even using that ultimate. They have 5 ultimates, but they can't use them on the defense.
And Lele switched over to Junkrat because they were hoping in that first push to get beyond the choke point. When they decided it was going to be a choke point, they brought Junkrat and got a lot of good value from him. So I like that part of the big switch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see how many ultimates they have for Animal Planet, and it's going to be a matter of whether they can get back to the point here. As Virginia Slam doing a lot of dancing, but there's only so much you can do, as Mini Diva does get away, though, back to the pack, so could potentially charge up and get back into the mech, and she's doing a good job contesting because it's only a Winston here with the Primal Rage just trying to bat her away, and she does get back into the mech. Virginia Slim playing it very smart.
And KKND with that kind of hero hold there, you know, I understand why they did it, but it let Tracer know exactly when and where they were going to be coming in. That set up the double pulse bomb there.
Oh man, they weren't able to use those ultimates 2 fights ago, but they come back and they're able to contest to so much stall from the Mini Diva. KKND, like you said, popping that ultimate, but that shortens the range that you can do damage. So he's getting booped around and not able to finalize the kill. So not able to get very much percentage as they are still at 0.
And Goofball at 70%. I'm interested to see if they wait and have Lele not Riptire until Goofball has Graviton Surge ready, because I think that kind of a pairing is their last hope to take this point.
Yeah, absolutely. We see Lele going in the upper left here. Doesn't want to reveal the position right away. But yeah, they're starting to get position onto the point here, but the Riptire does come out before the Graviton Surge. Going to see what he can find on the point. Doesn't find anything and goes down to the Diva as well. That is disaster for the side of Kaviti. So they're going to have to limp back out of this point as it is all blue in the kill feed for Animal Planet.
Yeah, and that was an excellent job by Animal Planet of shutting down that Riptire. Not even killing it, just making sure that there was no way he could blow it up to get an actual kill.
Yeah, it's just such a tragedy there because you said there's just so much. Now they put the Graviton Surge onto the solo Reinhardt here as Goofball starts to run by. They know it is do or die time, so they're trying to use it to buy as much time as possible. That ultimate does come out from the side of the Reinhardt, but it didn't find anybody. Sir Penguin goes down here, and now the Valkyrie for the side of Animal Planet is going to be keeping everyone topped off and with double the damage or damage increase, and they completely wipe it. Animal Planet holding it to 0%.
And Ham Planet just went crazy on Sombra there near the end. Really, the entire map, they were on point with the damage. The EMPs were good, but really it's the non-EMP gameplay that Ham Planet was pulling out on Sombra, I think, that made the difference there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just keeping them at that choke point for so long, and then when they decided to run through, they all split up, and Animal Planet was just doing such a good job at, again, it's all about finalizing kills, and because when your Mercy doesn't have to res unnecessary deaths, I mean, that just makes your team so much stronger. And every time KVT pushed through, I mean, they were going for it, and you got to commend them for that. But unfortunately, they're just not able to make the progress. And really, that make or break point was that KKND on the Winston with the Primal Rage, just not able to clear off the point, even though had the ultimate auto attacks is going to be pushing people off the point, just didn't have the range to completely clear it.
Yeah, and I understand the allure of trying to do a solo ult and hold out until the rest of your team can get back. Would have been better served by jumping away and waiting for a full engage to use that. And so now we are going to see Kaiviti. Seafood is going back onto Roadhog for this defense. Again, I like the move from them. I like what Roadhog can do on defense here. They're going to need to pull out all the stops to full hold this for 4 minutes.
Yeah, and they elect to not go for the Sombra, feeling they'd rather stay with their bread and butter, Goofball on the Pharah, and Lele on the Junkrat, so the projectile splash damage. So we'll see how well it goes, if their supports can keep everyone up, and if they can keep them at the choke point.
So not a lot of surprises on the comp on either side, other than maybe that Roadhog coming out where Animal Planet hasn't had a chance to see it a lot since the second map there. But I don't think it's going to be a huge surprise to Animal Planet to see it.
See Sir Penguin surveying the land, taking a lot of shield damage, but it looks like they're gaining a lot of valuable knowledge as now they start to push through. Sir Penguin still with the ultimate down. They use the Lucio speed to get position, and KVT giving them a lot of ground. They need to be cognizant that's only 33%. That will win the game. Now the fight is split up between the upper and lower ground.
And I really like the way Sir Penguin shielded his entire team going in through the left there. Didn't go in with them, went around that door so that nobody on Kaiviti could really get any picks.
Very interesting. Sir Penguin just charged all the way through and just completely turning around the rest of the team. Kaiviti is just stuck in the middle, being surrounded by Animal Planet. So we'll see if they're able to find the damage. Seafood does get a good hook, but oh my goodness, the delivery service, Casey Wolf, is going to be taking out Baby Din. As Sir Penguin does get res from the Mercy, so he's going to be back up, and he's going to be swinging away on the point here. Still contesting, though, so Kaiviti doing a good job of holding it so far, but how long can you contest when your team is going to be going down? Now
Not
that's going to
very
be
long.
30%. Yeah, and there you go.
Not a lot to say about that attack. It went pretty much just the way Animal Planet had it drawn up pre-fight. They went through the left, they got to the high ground, they came down onto the point, and really Kaiviti wasn't able to disrupt that attack to any reasonable extent.
You saw the way that they got split up, and again, it's been about can Kaiviti quickly kill. And you saw the Reinhardt go by, and so this is just going to be that hold earlier from Kaiviti. But yeah, but anyway, so a little consolation prize there. They do get to play the game, but it was all about how quickly can you find the kills. Sir Peng, we saw him just charge straight through the point and through the opposite side. It's like for sure he's going to go down, and he did. But then he got rezzed right away, and so it nullifies it, right? And so Mercy wasn't taken out in that time while she's charging over to go to that res. And so yeah, I mean, just like you said, the really great attack there from Animal Planet, splitting up onto the upper and lower grounds, but not losing people as they got slowly positioned and restricted down on the KVT.
Yeah,
and really that's... Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I mean, KVT really let Nuclear Rage just rain down shots from on the high ground, both on their defense and on their offense. You saw the ult right there at the end, the play of the game. and he was just completely uncontested. You had Manu Manu I believe come in with his ult. Unfortunately, unable to get anything because you had Nuclear Rage who shot down him during his ult and killed the rest of the team. So like you can't be leaving like a soldier uncontested on high ground. It's I mean like he wasn't on the high ground at first. I know one team that I would scrim against all the time. They had a really big thing of being on the high ground. That's something that we had to notice. Was this player, if he wasn't on the high ground, that means he was dead, and that means that he's going to go right back to the high ground every time. And so you saw him do it again on the offense when they ended up winning the game, and it really helped them secure being on the high ground. So I mean,
yeah, when you're going up against a soldier that likes to do that, you really need a Winston or a Diva or somebody like that who can get up in their face and just make them not able to relax and take their time and pick people off. And that's what I think was missing right there.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like we're going to be going to Dorado next. And
Dorado next, yes.
yeah, and that's going to be Animal Planet on the defense. So Animal Planet will start blue side. And yeah, so they're pretty much putting the ball into Kaiviti's court, saying, how far can you push it? Right? And then they're just going to answer. So,
Well,
but again, I mean, we
they've
saw-
done this. They did this every time. They've been picking defense first every time. They want to see what Kaviti's going to bring out. It didn't work out for them at Kings Row, but then they chose Volskaya as their next map, and or did they choose defense first? I chat.
And right now we have Pimpin' on Animal Planet, so a little bit of confusion
Yeah,
with the roster still to be sorted out.
Yeah, it's going to be Animal Planet on defense first. Animal Planet elected to do that. But this could get interesting, though. I mean, we saw again, Dorado just feels closest to Kings Row, and Kaviti took Kings Row, I believe, right? Because they were able to stall them out beforehand. So it's going to be all about the projectile splash damage, projectile explosives, and can they take down the shields fast enough? And because that's pretty much what we saw Kaviti's strong point is. Again, we've been saying it throughout the cast. We've seen like the Pharah and Junkrat be their strongest there. So unfortunately, it didn't help them hold there, but it's just a wide open map. Dorado brings it in a little bit.
And again, a very popular map for a lot of teams, both on attack and defense. Generally felt to be one of the more balanced maps, and it's a personal favorite of mine. I've always loved the streets phase on Dorado. It's got a nice blend of verticality and horizontal movement there.
And the music to go when you load it. You're just like, all right, let's go.
I just want to
Yeah,
point
but
out
the best music's Junkertown.
I just want to point out for the stickers, we just had the giveaway, and Memory Floss won the giveaway on those stickers. I did that before our first break, so congrats. We will be doing some more giveaways later on. Remember, these are the stickers, our Overwatch University logo right there. I'll send you a couple of those in the mail. Just message me on Discord. Like I said, we will be doing two more, so stay tuned. But for right now, we got Dorado.
Yeah, and a 2-2-2 coming out from Animal Planet on defense. They do have Casey Wolf back on Tracer, and after how well they popped off on DePaul, I'm going to keep an eye on Casey Wolf to see if they can keep on getting those critical backline picks early in fights.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we expected, Pharah and the Junkrat on the offense.
All the explosives.
That's right. Ooh, but interesting. Rolling the solo support, possibly. Ooh. Can see how this goes. I mean, you have the offense, your offensive spawn so close to this first corner. I mean, there's a lot of distance as it curves around that you can get back to in support. So,
Ooh, and they're all going out right instead of out main. That's an interesting movement. What are they planning?
I have secured the
Oh, it's just a little bit of a fake out.
gotcha. And actually, we did see Ham Planet switch onto the Lucio, so that's going to be, or excuse me, no, yeah, still running that. And Goofball goes down immediately to Nuclear Rage till that res, again, critical res. Well, what do you do with that first life that you do? And they didn't get very much for that Goofball going down for pretty much nothing.
And not only that, Goofball tried to boop, but Diva caught it perfectly in the defense matrix, so denied even that engage.
Yeah, but interesting, the Diva decides to contest on the upper ground, but completely forgets, guys, that this is the objective over here, this payload. So Diva not able to contest as they get through the choke point.
Yeah, it was an interesting engage from both sides there. I'm surprised they did get it through the car wash. Let's see if they can push it any further on this first push.
That's right. Manu Manu's going to be holding steady on that point, so it will keep pushing up as both tanks and the support are going to be there. But Sir Penguin coming in and getting 2 kills there. And they're going to be pushing back this defense. Sir Penguin carrying early on this first point.
Yeah, and very good defense from Animal Planet once they recovered and realized, oh, the payload's going through the car wash right now.
That's right. So we'll see how they decide to hold this here. Sir Penguin's going to be holding steady with a shield up on the front side of the point. Does get moved forward from the concussive blast, but it opens up Goofball to be taken out by Nuclear Rage, who's still on that upper ground.
And I like the early pick, but they weren't able to guard it from Testcraft, so Sir Penguin gets rezzed immediately, and they need Sir Penguin, especially because of how good of a night they're having.
Yeah, but a good pick. Lele Gunner to the back and getting 2 kills there, Sir Penguin and Ham Planet. So they're going to get a little bit more progress here. So let's see how far they go. Riptire going to be coming out from the backside and going to get Nuclear Rage. So this is going to be both DPS down for the side of Animal Planet as they're going to get a lot of progress here. Let's see if Animal Planet decides to contest.
And Casey Wolf's not been having the greatest match on Tracer this time, not like Nepal. Kaiviti's doing a much better job of denying Casey Wolf the easy solo picks.
Absolutely. So they get through the first point thanks to the picks from the Riptire, and pretty much that was Lele opening it up because got the 2 kills, one from the trap and one from just the bombs, and then moved in and got that Riptire kill. So that was 3 just from one member. So really good job on that first point.
And as we go forward into this first Streets engage, I'm looking for Manu Manu and Goofball to try to combo the Earth Shatter and the Barrage. If they can do that, I think they're going to push most of the way through Streets. But they got to get Sir Penguin's shield down first.
You're going to see how Kavichi decides to keep pushing through. The sound barrier is blown for Animal Planet, so they do want to hold it here. They did get a pick early on into the Mercy, so the sound barrier is just to make sure that everyone stays alive, and they're able to convert that to a hold here. So Kavichi going to have to regroup here. Oh, but late pick onto Seafood on the McCree. Very unfortunate for them. It's going to delay them at least 5 to 10 more seconds.
Yeah, but this next team fight is going to be an absolutely critical one. Both of them are going to have 4 to 5 ults available. So who's going to use them more efficiently here?
That's right, Manu Manu pushing up, using the payload. This is very smart here from the side of Kaiviti. They do send him Goofball, but again, goes down. Now, Virginia Slim with the Diva, you can shoot and dash towards the Pharah, so not even a Diva can contest the Pharah, so goes down, unfortunately. So they have to blow the res on the Goofball in the backline, but here comes the Rocket Barrage, only able to take out 1 for the Sir Penguin, but you can bet that that's going to be res as soon as possible as Testcraft comes back, and that Earth Shatter is going to come out and reply. Both Earth Shatters coming out.
Look at what Manu Manu did. The Earth Shatter came out from Sir Penguin. Manu Manu immediately charged him into the wall, denied Sir Penguin a lot of the follow-up he would have otherwise been able to get. Incredibly timed charge by Manu Manu.
Really great work, and they start to push on through. Casey Wolf still holding on to that pulse bomb and try to find a key target. But again, they're rounding the last corner before the second point.
Little duel on the top side there between KKND and Virginia Slim. The eternal struggle of monkey versus robot goes the robot's way this time.
And pulse bomb was thrown out by Casey Wolf, but unfortunately not able to find anyone. Trying to stick that Mercy, as now they're contesting right before this next checkpoint. Manu Manu getting back to the point, holding up that shield to protect Lele, but gets booped away. Sir Penguin getting caught up in that trap, but not before finding the damage onto Manu Manu, who has to go trying to charge to get back to the point, but unfortunately goes down. So Animal Planet holding here, at least for now.
And you see how one good engage pushed them almost to the second point. That's just the way Dorado Streets tends to go. And now they did get trickled. They did get a little bit strung out on the back end of that fight, but they are able to recover. They're getting grouped up, and they're going to approach the second point through the backside here now.
That's right. Yeah, they're moving on that upper ground. So we'll see if they decide how aggressively the tanks are going to position both Manu Manu and KKND. You know, Winston and Reinhardt have the kits to get to the back line. We see Sir Penguin decide to jump in, and he does take out Manu Manu first, so that's going to be the first res coming out for Kaviti. So that's going to be down, but putting their Earth Shatter right into the shield, trying to anticipate it going down, but it looks like it won't matter as Manu Manu is continuing to clear the point. Could have been a distraction as Seafood on the back line gets the damage, as well as Goofball.
And also in the category of distraction, Seafood went high noon there, and it was only, I think, to distract. because that triggered Virginia Slim as Diva to dive in and try to body block him out of the way. That meant that Diva wasn't there to shield everyone else.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, feels like a good time to lower your shield right after an Earth Shatter, but not when it goes right into the middle of a high noon. Lele finds an early pick even before this door open onto Ham Planet, so he's going to be running back from spawn. He's already actually joined up with his team now. Animal Planet with that ultimate advantage.
And Animal Planet, they're holding entirely on the low ground, which makes them bunched up, which is why Lele is absolutely feasting on them, just throwing grenades into the mass, already almost charged up another Riptire, and he just used one.
That's right, Virginia Slim dropping in from the upper ground, but both DPS from the side of Kaviti going to be up there. Diva for Virginia Slim is contesting, but here it goes. That's going to be the Earth Shatter blocked up by Manu this time, so giving him a taste of his own medicine. That's going to be the sound barrier coming out from Animal Planet. They're feeling like they need to hold this here as they're starting to lose the numbers, so they need that extra health pool. But a big Earth Shatter coming out from Kaviti, and that's going to be combined with the Primal Rage as he jumps onto the back line, but they're not able to find the kills quite yet. Just a couple more swings on the hammer, but a huge triple kill from the Tire. Lele opening it up.
Beautiful. And now Virginia Slim's got to hold as long as they can by themselves. Gonna self-destruct to just buy a little more time.
Oh, but picks up Lele there. Not able to hide behind the shield, and this could be the reply. 2 kills going down so far from Nuclear Rage, and now the kill feed you see is starting to turn a little bit more blue, so Animal Planet starting to hold here as KKND looking for reinforcements does have that.
And this all goes back to the decision by Animal Planet to hold on a group on low, not put anyone up top until it was a bit too late. I think because of that, they gave it up almost all the way to the 3rd point, because that let Lele gain so much charge so quickly. That led to the Riptire, which got an amazing 3 kill. So now as they regroup, I would like to see a little separation here.
Yeah, I mean, such a critical play. You felt like that was going to be the push, and it could have been a little bit sloppy there from Lele after getting the triple kill.
Who's going to get on the point here? It's going to be Winston engaging first.
Yeah, but the Earth Shatter comes out on the back line. Sir Penguin going to be taking out the Mercy, so big pick, but goes down to Goofball. So 1 healer for 1 tank. We're going to see who it decides to favor as Manu is just starting to go onto this back line, just swinging his hammer, opening it up for the Junkrat. Unfortunately, only the tanks left to go, but 2 tanks versus 1. We're going to see how Virginia, they can't even find him on the other side of the point. They're like, where is this last person contesting? That buys up enough time for Sir Penguin to charge the Reinhardt away, and Manu goes down. So now it's only KKND versus 3. And this could be it.
And that's a heartbreaking way to not finish out the map. Early in that final fight, though, Testcraft as Mercy did something very smart. She got up on top of the payload, and she just stayed still. And for a few critical seconds, they couldn't see her. And we're going to see a replay here of the Junkrat Riptire bomb that almost blew open the 3rd point.
Yeah, and you see how much space it opened up for Kaviti. And you could feel that, like, you've been there in the games where you feel like that play you did is going to finish you the game. So maybe playing a little bit sloppy and not hiding behind the shield of the Reinhardt, which was right next to him. So, very great 3K, but a little bit sloppy right after that. Need to play all the way through the end.
And now Kaiviti's got to go on defense after that. And effectively, they got so close that it's going to be finish or dump. So Kaiviti is again in the same position they were in on King's Row.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see if any adjustments on Animal Planet. They do bring up the Zarya here, which is definitely a good call versus the Junkrat. I mean, they have to know that's coming.
They do, and they did have Zarya on the final point there as well. Was able to get some charge up, but never lived long enough to really use that charge effectively.
Yeah, for sure. And they're gonna have to use the point, the payload as cover, right? I mean, they're not bringing any shields other than the Zarya bubble. So when they're gonna be fighting against just a rain of grenades, I mean, they're gonna have to be very careful on their positioning because there's nothing really blocking them. No Orisa shield, no Reinhardt shield. Have to depend. We're going to see if Virginia Slim just decides to use the bubbles. Send someone else forward. Maybe you have the Sir Penguin run forward first, put a bubble onto her. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be interesting to see if it can even get through this choke point here.
I think it's going to be all relying on Virginia Slim because, like you said, they're going to be the only source of shields here.
We do see Casey Wall starting to go on a flank as they clear this first point. Very typical of this map, you contesting on this upper ground here.
They don't see him.
Yeah, I mean, Casey Wolf going to the back, but they do. And just poking around here. Casey Wolf, yeah, we're going to recall back, but does draw the Winston away. So that's definitely going to be worth it, and does even get a kill onto the Junkrat. So first, Rez going to be going to Kaviti.
And that res is immediately repaid as Lele gets a pick off on Lucio. The Lucio gets res, but that means that the res isn't available for Soldier. And it's that kind of cascading way that these things affect each other that makes New Mercy such an interesting character to play tactically.
Yeah, that's right. KKND now maintaining the upper ground and chasing off that Mercy. Saying, this is my upper ground, but Lele, again, these grenades are finding their mark. All these explosives here as they now confidently push through this choke point.
And it's just like you said, Virginia Slim is getting a lot of charge, but that's not a lot of kills.
Oh my goodness, another triple kill from Lele. This is going to be some just textbook Junkrat play here, showing you that you should not ever complain about ping. 200 ping and still getting these triple kills.
I think Animal Planet really needs an Orisa, a Rhine, or a Winston, and they need it now. Junkrat is eating them alive.
Yeah, it is insane the amount of damage being dealt here, and we knew that this is going to be a tough point because you have to be with the
look
payload.
at their back flank. They're all going back flank now.
Ooh, definitely very clever. Right, let's see. And Lele's sniffed it out, but now on the front line, was sitting in the back before, but now they're aggressively pushing forward. But that's going to be a big Graviton Surge, pulling all three together, but no damage follow-up. Lele even tossing in some of that work as now Sir Penguin trying to move room for the point, but the point isn't even being pushed right now. They're just completely off of that objective as Seafood takes on the mech and the Diva.
And that was 100% a reflex ult from Goofball. That time, though, they did have their team around them. They were able to get a few kills off of it, and that let them win the team fight. That's what I've been looking for out of Kaiviti.
So Animal Planet bringing out the Pharah here. Sir Penguin does get a self-destruct kill onto Seafood, so that's going to open up a little bit. Casey Wolf now on the back line with that Pharah, but here comes the Riptire. How many do you find?
Oh.
Just two, just immediately.
Both supports.
That's going to be good enough.
And two is enough when it's both supports.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And now continuing to fall again. Kaviti doing such a good job holding this here. Casey Wolf was in the back line for a while, so already got that rocket barrage, but not able to do it. But oh my, switches off, deciding that would rather be on the Tracer, feeling it was ineffective, throwing away an ultimate. This is getting pretty dire here.
And now Sir Penguin does go into Winston. We'll see if they stay near their team to shield or not, though. But there's only a minute left.
Yeah, Mukai, what do they gotta do to make the adjustment here? Like you said, the Winston could help out, but they're gonna have
As crazy
to really
as this sounds,
yeah.
I think they've got to dive Junkrat.
They did. You gotta try, but here comes the black hole, but another follow-up. Nothing on top of that. So Animal Planet Blue, their only ultimate. So now they're gonna have to rely just solely on the hero, the normal kit. Sir Penguin starting to jump around. That is going to be their sound barrier coming out, keeping them topped off here for Animal Planet. But just look how many bubbles
Watch
are
Goofball.
inside of bubbles.
Watch Goofball. They're about to have Graviton Surge up, and they've got the Riptire to counter with, to combo with it.
Lele goes down to Nuclear Rage, so that is exactly what they were waiting for, but not able to throw in the Riptire, as well as now Animal Planet starting to make some ground here. That Junkrat is out of the way, so they can start to push.
An excellent attack from Animal Planet. Now it's going to be all overtime all the way, though.
Yeah, Mercy had that Valkyrie as well, but Seafood here trying to go for the hero play. What are you doing? Running in with a tactical visor into a Winston ball. Well, that's not where you want to die here, so just trying to get some stall. KKND on the point as well. Munu running back with the Lucio, but throwing in everything that they can, but is this really the right place to contest?
I don't think it is. I think you wait to get near the first point and then throw 4 or 5 all together at them. I don't like the trickling in from Kaiviti, but I can tell why. They sense this map victory if they can just hold right here.
Yeah, they say they feel this is do or die right now, and they're starting to get more people back onto the point. Goofball went down, but brought back by the res. Baby Din has the Valkyrie floating above, getting that chain healing and the res as well, but both sound barriers coming up.
Lele has Riptire, and I think they're about to try to use it.
That's right, here comes the Riptire. Nuclear Rage not able to find anything, but here comes the Riptire in the back line. Only able to find one, but that's going to be good enough. Nuclear Rage is brought back as well. And this is just an absolute brawl here. 2 res coming out from the side of the Animal Planet, so they're going to keep this push keeping going.
And just a long, drawn-out stall fight on the payload. The longer this goes on, the less amount of time Animal Planet can afford to leave the payload alone. It's getting to the point where if they're off even for a second, they're going to finish this round.
Yeah, this is starting to tilt very, very slowly inside of Animal Planet. They got all 3 reses off there. Just staying alive, that Mercy doing such a good job, but here comes that ultimate. KKND with the Primal Rage, clearing everyone off the point here. Now the overtime is ticking down. If you can clear it just for a second, that might be able to get you the win, but they're not able to do it.
And Casey Wolf did go on a mission behind enemy lines, did stall out the reinforcements. That might be almost enough to get them to the first point. And if they can get to the first point, they can get a little more time on the clock. Stop panicking.
Oh no, Seafood again with another attack visor. Also in overtime. 2 attack visors in overtime, but both of them thrown. And we're still contesting here. This is just absolutely insane with New Mercy, but it looks like finally, Animal Planet can push to the first point.
That was a great try by Kaiviti to hold it on the first point. It almost worked, but I think they let themselves just string out way too much there.
Yeah, that was just absolutely nutty. I mean, we saw 2 ultimates come out from the Soldier, and you saw the just importance of getting kills quickly, right? Like, Kaviti was holding there so long with the Zarya, and then eventually went down, but got bought back by the res. Already moving on. Sir Penguin jumping into the back line. Yeah, just clearing way for the payload to push up here.
And they're going to be looking for the ults here. Lele's got yet another Riptire ready to go here.
Yeah, just standing there right in the middle. Oh my goodness, just got respawned. Oh, but Virginia Slim does take it out with the Diva Rockets.
It's clutch. That's incredibly clutch. That could have broken open the entire fight.
Valkyrie being used for GVT on the defense. We do have the ultimate coming out for Sir Penguin as well, as he pops a Primal Rage. He just wants to clear the point. 2 sound barriers are going to come out as well. Pretty
And
much
now it's Goofball's going to be next up with the ult, I think. They're just looking for a good place to Death Blossom.
There you go. He puts down the Death Blossom, but a lot of it eaten up by the defense matrix, so they're able to fall back, doing a really good job of retreating. But all of this stall, 1 minute left on the point as the self-destruct comes in, slightly inside of that Winston bubble, but it doesn't matter as it finds KKND himself.
And that's just a slight footwork error from KKND. He'd gotten out of his own bubble that he would have lived through that, but incredible stall by Kaiviti here.
Yeah, I mean, they're just staying alive so long. You see even Seafood just on his own lonesome in the biotic field, staying safe. As yeah, I mean, just the Lucio here. Manu doing such a good job skating around, and just look at him just in the middle. He only just goes down now 1v5.
The stall just keeps going too. It's this. What do you even say about this? They've been stalling for 5 minutes.
Pretty much, and you know, they're just pushing it a couple meters. It takes them 30 seconds here, and you can bet that Kaviti will be coming back and regrouping here before this second point.
I don't think they're going to have time to really do much to contest at 4.2, but they don't really need to. There's not going to be a lot of time for Animal Planet to get to the final point.
Yeah, I almost thought that they out of there. We just see KKND jumping on, but Seafood here finally with some good positioning, but gets repositioned there, but is able to run back to the team. Noped out his way out of there as Nuclear Rage is now finding the comfort on this backside. I mean, we've been looking for this Nuclear Rage doing such a good job, but hold on, the Death Blossom comes out. Does get stuck by Casey Wolf, so that's going to be a quick trade. Tactical Visor comes out from Seafood, again popping it right in the middle, but this time a little bit with better positioning and with support of his team, so it doesn't go down, but doesn't find any kills there.
And this is panic time because you're in a minute left. You've got all of point 3 to go. Animal Planet, they're going to be desperate now. They're going to use everything they've got.
That's a second Riptire that Virginia Slim took down him, but just like you said, that is going to be the Desperation play. Throwing out the self-destruct does take down Manu, who goes down, so no skating Lucio to keep stalling off the point as Nuclear Rage starts to find the damage, is comfortable up in the sky here in this last point.
So let's see. They've got Animal Planet has both defensive ults and they have Barrage. They're going to be looking for Nuclear Rage to get a lot of kills with this Barrage when it does come out.
See Manu jumping onto the back line. Lele did go down, but it was brought back from the res, excuse me. Is now just in the middle of the fray. This Winston bubble
Riptire's
doing
out again.
job. Yeah, that's right. And he just retreats down. You see the Riptire's gonna be coming up from the stairs. See what they can find. Gets a double kill.
Beautiful!
But the Rocket Barrage comes out in reply. Gets 2 kills into DPS, but another self-destruct gonna be taking out 3 people. So much here momentum building for Animal Planet as they push through to the last point.
And that, again, great timing. Waited for Winston to put the shield down. As a result, triple kill. That's going to give Animal Planet a chance. If that self-destruct had missed, Kaiviti won the map.
Absolutely, because that Riptire took out both supports, but now so much space being opened up by Kaiviti starting to contest here. First death's going to be going to Kaiviti. Sir Penguin taken out, so their main tank, but he does get rezzed back up.
Oh, and Mercy gets picked off right after doing the first res, so won't be able to Valkyrie in time.
That's right, and could this be a repeat of what we saw on King's Row, where Kaiviti holds it very narrowly in front? We're gonna have to see very soon as Sir Penguin is still alive and kicking. Nuclear Rage on the back line, but that self-destruct, such a good position, pushing everyone forward past the point. Nuclear Rage goes down to that, so now Kaiviti is gonna have the position on this payload.
And Testcraft is coming back. They've got Valkyrie. Kaiviti is going to have to kill her quickly.
That's right, that's gonna be Sound Barrier coming out for Kaiviti, keeping them topped up, but that Valkyrie does get popped and gets the res onto Sir Penguin, such a crucial tank, but here comes another Riptire, gonna be ripping it up from the back line. Who are they able to find? Only Virginia Slim, but that is, again, a tank to someone who makes up so much space, but getting brought back. Will Virginia Slim be able to get them back? No, gets taken out by
Intercepted.
Let's get you back in the
as Kaiviti start to move up, just Testcraft with the Valkyrie, not able to get the res off in time. Sir Penguin, golden, but not counting there. Kaiviti
And we've got a tie. I want to go back to that final segment because I think the big error there was resurrecting Baby Diva and not waiting. Diva is one of the last targets that you want to try to res as Mercy if you're in a tense situation because she comes back as Baby Diva. She's relatively easy to kill, and Lele, clutch, immediately takes out the Baby Diva. That distracts Mercy long enough for the rest of Kaiviti to get the picks that needed to happen. And look at Manu. 7 minutes, 15 seconds of objective time. Holy cow.
I've never seen that much objective time before. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Wow. I mean, you see Division 6 matchup, and you don't think hype plays, but that was such a high level. I mean, they were so evenly matched there in terms of their ability to stall, and Kaiviti, again, despite all of the the ping issues, but again, the comms there were must have been so big, and just so much damage for the Junkrat as well. Allows Kaiviti to play very loose, right? They can go and be aggressive and go for those kills, and that's exactly what we saw there in Dorado.
And keep in mind, in Division 6, nobody had been able to even tie Animal Planet yet. We just saw in chat that Hamplanet said, y'all are the best team we've played this season. And I am very impressed with Kaiviti. They're fighting against a 500 SR gap, a 200 ping difference, and they still tied this up 2 maps to 2. And that last hold on Dorado, incredible.
Yeah, and like again, we saw that play as like the play of the game, but like I really want to go back and like watch that again, as you guys see. So like, if what Animal Planet had would have happened, maybe a few, even like maybe like 10 meters later, they would have had that point. But unfortunately, Kaiviti, came in there. They kept going and going. You pointed out you didn't like, them kept, trickling in there, but it worked for them. They got so far. They won the map. And they tied the series. So their first game going up against the undefeated team in their division is just really it's really great. Who knows? Maybe this team will end up being the second place team and go into playoffs from their group. So they could take Division 6 by storm. Who never knows. They're one of the lower tier teams in their group, and they're beating the highest team in the group. You could see they had some chemistry work out towards the end there, and just it's either that or maybe it really was just
just Lily on the Junkrat.
Yeah, that was an amazing performance as Junkrat. I think to an extent, Animal Planet enabled that by not having a main tank for so long. But even after they had a Winston, Lele still just popped off.
Yeah. Yeah, I do have to call out though, Manu. We did see the objective time, but first was on the Reinhardt, but switching back and forth between the Reinhardt and the Lucio. We saw in like the streets phase between point 2 and 3 when they're on the defense, just him skating around, right? And that buys so much time, because as much as your team wants to push out and clear the road ahead of you, they had to deal with the Lucio and just completely kind of like left him to be taken out by other teammates, right? So almost like maybe that crowd, that effect of when we're in a crowd, I forget what it's called. Just like a crowd, yeah, whatever. Just like, oh, someone else to take care of it, right? Like you guys got the Lucio, I'm gonna go and push, right? But when you have the payload, it just takes one person to contest and prevent progress. So really good job there from Manu as well.
So yeah, we got a giveaway to do here.
Today I'm just coming up with the keyword. And actually, I'm gonna run it. We're gonna do a short break, and then once we get back from the break, we're gonna announce that giveaway. Okay? So.
Sounds good.
Give them the keyword.
Very cool. All right, but yeah, for our next games afterwards, or you're all right? Are you doing it?
Yeah. So the keyword after Kaviti's awesome performance is gonna be underdog. Okay, so you're gonna type underdog.
Nice.
To enter the giveaway for these stickers once again. So we're gonna do one more again. It's gonna be in between the next game coming up between WWTO or Who Watches the Overwatches is what their long name is, and the Squid Squad. So we'll be back shortly. Again, type underdog to enter the giveaway for these stickers, and we're gonna have a short break, and we're gonna show you an awesome hype video that we have for season 3. So we'll see you guys soon.
The Graviton Surge coming down, instantly comboed in with Demu's lovely ult. That's 4 kills instantly traded on.
Oh, immediately into a huge 4-player barrage off of Tamiko. That was a hell of a play, back-to-back.
Widow now, he's doing it all.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Oh my god!
That's gonna be the point A take.
That is a 3rd kill on Widow. That's gonna wrap that up.
Also have the ult from Mythbustman, and here a very big ult from Zerglin with the combo with Pokecraft as he throws the Tracer Bomb in, and that wipes everybody.
We we've got another 2-2-2 based on Pharmacy coming out from Cloud Riders. And
well, it's a
immediately gets the pick.
2-2-1 after that pick.
This overtime, if they leave for just half a second, this is going to be game over for them. That's going to be a self-destruct coming down. However, 3 kills to finish the map. My goodness. We're still trading quite even, but Dashi is going to get 2. He gets 3. 2 headshots in a row, and that could signal that this point is taken.
The boops are real!
Hello and welcome back, and hope you all enjoyed that highlight video. As I mentioned earlier, we will be doing that giveaway once we got back. So again, for these stickers, I'm doing that roll for the giveaway, and the winner is Super Duper Guy. Congratulations. Be sure to message me on Discord if you can't get to me. Make sure you go to our Discord at discord.gg/OWUniversity. It's also in our description of the channel. So let's go to this next game. We have who are the Overwatchers going up against the Squid Squad. So these teams are a bit of a higher ELO from the previous matches. We had before our lowest division. Now we're going to be going up to Division 4, Group B, who has an average season high SR of 2,800 and an average current SR of 2,643. So, we're hitting that low plat to mid plat area. So. First up, let's look at the Squid Squad, okay?
So, for Squid Squad, they're bringing out a number of players. They've got a big roster. They're one of the teams that have 8 people. They brought out their 6 best, so their 6 highest SR players. Their captain, Brick, really, really loves 2 things. A, sit on the objective. B, get boops. So, I think even more than last game, I think they're really hoping on Nepal to start out with. They get the map that lets the Lucio go crazy with booping into pits. Another thing with Squid Squad, Suki is going to be playing one of their main healers, probably Mercy. Their style is the direct opposite of what we saw last match. They play a very cautious kind of healer. Very few deaths, lots of resurrections that kind of came out of nowhere, but they don't die a lot. And as a result, they're also not up in the fray a lot. So they're not really inside the death ball. We'll see how that works with New Mercy. A lot of those stats were on the old patch. So I'm interested to see how that passive kind of backline approach to healing pays off for Squid Squad.
Yeah, for sure. And we do see a difference, excuse me, in their experience as well, playing together as a team. Squid Squad playing together for about, they said the last month, but on the side of who watches the Overwatchers, a lot longer. So their team that they're bringing today, 3 to 4 months, but some of the team have been playing for over a year. So definitely going to see how that plays into it as well.
And another thing I'm going to be looking for from Squid Squad, Dumpster is their Roadhog player mainly. And I think they're going to get a lot of use out of Roadhog if they want to, because who watches the Overwatchers? At least one of their supports is a very aggressive support, always up in the front lines trying to heal, just like we saw last game. And just like last game, we saw Kaiviti had a lot of success when they went to Roadhog. I think we might see the same thing here.
Yeah, and you see that they got an SR about 2,700, so they're like in the middle of the pack of this division. However, we go on the side of the Overwatcher. Who are the Overwatchers, or who watches the Overwatchers? Wow, I'm mixing that up all over the place right there.
Overwatchers.
But before we get over there, so the Squid Squad does have one loss. Now we go over the side of who watches the Overwatchers. They're undefeated, 2-0 record. Okay, they are probably at one of the higher teams in the division. You know, they got an average season high SR of 29-28. So about 200, a little over 200 more than the Squid Squad. And yeah, they're 2-0. So did you mention earlier? You know, they've been playing for 3 to 4 months. They have 7 players. One's on the bench for today, but they pretty much been playing together for about a year. How often do they practice?
They try to practice at least one full scrim a week, and they also play a lot together as much as they can. 2 stacks, 3 stacks, 4 stacks. They just try to get in the habit of good comms with each other as often as possible. The player that I'm going to be watching most is Vinard, or VWLD. He's McCree. He's low masters, and he's a low masters playing in a group with a lot of high plats, low diamonds. So I think the burden is going to be on him to try to carry as much as possible. And McCree's a good player to try to do it with.
Yeah, and I see that both of these teams have also put down Genji, and we remember I was saying we didn't see Genji before.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, as you guys may be saying, you know, he is on the higher skill cap. I thought, you know, sometimes you see him, you know, more often in the lower levels just because people want to try to, you know, play him. But, you know, no. We see both these teams looking like they might pull him out. And just like the previous game, we will be seeing Nepal here. And it looks like who watches the Overwatchers like playing Nine Kings Row, Anubis, Route 66. So we'll see, you know, if they want to pick those maps. And both teams actually look like they like Kings Row. So I'm assuming we're probably going to see that for our hybrid pick. But first up, we do have Nepal.
Yeah, so one of the things I do like is that they've got one map in each category that they're really well practiced on. So if they lose a map, they've always got something that they can pull out and go to. If they lose before the 2CP, they can go to Anubis. They lose before Hybrid, they can go to Kings Row. If they lose going into the final map, they can pull out Route 66. They can counterpunch really well. Another thing that they do that I'm really interested to see, they say they've practiced 222, they've practiced triple DPS, and they've practiced triple tank. So they feel like no matter what the Squid Squad throws at them, they've got a response in their back pocket that they can throw out.
Yeah, both these teams seem like they're pretty comfortable with the meta. And I'm assuming we're probably going to see a bit of Mercy out of these teams because, you know, Mercy's just so strong right now in the current meta. So let's say we're having a little stall here trying to get this game started.
Yeah, but when you talked about Mukai, you brought up the McCree being able to carry as well. I think this is definitely, as we get to this higher skill matchup, it's going to be about the hit scan, right? Can you get the picks? It looks like both of these teams are not calling out Farah as as some of their mains, but you know, whilst very strong on some of these, especially for the the control map. You won't have, like, McCree can completely focus on, you know, the people on the ground, but then the Mercy, if she's jumping around, if you get 2 good shots in Mercy, you can take her out of the game. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, especially when the Mercy is coming into res. Can they pick off the Mercy at that time and only allow that one res? I think we saw a lot of those stalls happen for so long is because both teams were just were fully, they had the full team there the entire time. So I expect this to be that these games are going to be more one-sided, because once we see the DPS really find their stride, I think we'll see one just be a lot better than the other.
So just making sure both teams are ready before we hop in for our first map of our second match of the night. Again, Division 4, Group B, mostly averages in the mid to high plat range. Let's see where we go on Nepal.
Yeah, and I want to point out, you know, Mushu was talking about, you know, none of them opted, you know, to list Farah as, you know, their top player or, you know, most played. But we did see Genji, so if they did want to go Farah, we'd probably see, you know, their Genji switch off. I don't think they'd switch off their McCree just because, as Mushu was saying before, I mean not Mushu, Mukai was saying that before, that McCree is just so good in the current meta because of the Mercy changes. You know, it's really easy. It's really important to take Mercy out, and she's a bit more all over the place, so a bit easier to do so.
Absolutely, and we're going to be getting right into game 5 more seconds until I think we have the countdown right after that. Yeah, it's going to be 30 seconds from now. Start to pour into the point, but already the McCree picked out from the side of Who Watches Overwatchers. The Overwatchers can be on the blue side, and the Squid Squad will be on the red. So, Bounty Man with the Torbjorn. What do you guys think? Can we? Are they gonna roll with this?
I think it might be a troll, but we'll find out.
Both teams were doing that, so yeah, we'll see. But we finally got a Genji. First time for the Genji coming out of Tay 23 of Who Watches the Overwatchers.
And the Squid Squad's going to be bringing a Zarya and a Reaper, so they're going to be focusing on that close range engage up on the high ground here.
Yeah, both teams electing to go to the high ground, but Squid Squad getting setting a better time. As Who Watches the Overwatch is starting to push in here for the disadvantage in position. Tay jumping onto the back line, just getting some poke down, but LOL taking out Juice very early on. It's going to be the first res coming out as now a trade here. So Konama going down, but yeah, it's brought out by the res again. So now it is battle onto the point. We see Who Watches the Overwatch is starting to take a little bit more position here as they're starting to find the kills more in their way. Tay jumping around now, just on main onto the point, right into the face of this Reinhardt, just going and dashing right by him and turning him up, moving around. That's gonna be the reflex onto that fire strike. And finally, they should be able to take this point very soon. Gonna kill this Lucio.
Beautiful reflect on the fire strike there. And Squid Squad was able to get to high ground first because they had a Lucio. And as the... Ooh.
Whoa.
3 kills from that Graviton Surge. And that was all Bounty Man. You can see their name is on the kills feed. That was all them.
Yeah, so thought there was only Lucio left, but then there was Bounty Man, and I guess cannot leave him unchecked for, because that's gonna be Graviton right off the side. He's gonna just looking at them while he captures the point, because they can't get their feet on because they're tied up by the Graviton Surge. But we do see Who Watches the Overwatchers. They do have that Dragon Blade from Tay jumping onto the back. Got that charge up very quickly, but couldn't use it because of the Graviton.
And that's going to be a zoning high noon coming out here from Venard, just trying to control the terms of engagement. And again, doesn't get any kills, but it does zone them out of the engagement zone.
There we go. That's going to be the stun grenade onto LOL. So the Reaper trying to go into the back line to get damage onto the Reinhardt. Couldn't do so because of that stun grenade. And here we go. Venar winning the 1v1 versus the Soldier, and they flip the point, but not after 45%. That's going to be, now we do see Tay, this is going to be the Genji replay here, that just gave him so much space onto the point. We just saw that the way that after the zoning ultimate from the McCree, they just grouped everyone up together, so Tay just went into the back line and just cut everybody up.
And it was, again, I think Venard's high noon created the space that let those other ults win, but they did have to invest a lot of ults to win this point back, and now Squid Squad can do the same back.
That's right, they have the Death Blossom, they have the Earth Shatter. It's going to be the Earth Shatter from the back. Konama starting to go off here, swinging around. He does go down though. LOL still has that Death Blossom, could release it in a moment's notice here, but looks like they won't need to as Juice goes down, and this is going to be Squid Squad taking the point back.
And that's the danger of investing all of your ults to take. You're vulnerable to the retake. And Squid Squad was able to do the same thing, but they did hold back the Death Blossom, so they're not going to be in quite as compromised a position. I love the engage by Squid Squad. They had the good targeting early on, and it all just worked for them. The Mercy Valkyrie for Who Watches the Overwatchers didn't get a lot of reses and value.
That's right, and Konama had that flank Earth Shadow, so it's such a bizarre play. I mean, I don't even know how he got into the back line, but hold on. Tay dashing up, getting center position, as Varner is also holding on to that high noon and does channel it here. So this is going to be zoning again. Forces the Reinhardt to keep up that shield onto the point. But again, another stun onto the Reaper, who has to Wraith Walk away. And now they're drawing everyone out. That's going to be Konama bringing down the Earth Shadow, but not before. Yeah, they're able to start to clear out the point here. Venar going into the backside, getting the back cap. And here comes the Dragon Blade. Tay going to be getting 1 kill, 2 kills onto that Soldier as well. Getting a third onto Brick, and they take it back.
And Konama got res, but left the point instead of getting onto it.
Now Bounty Man, though, can't just leave him here. See if he can... Oh, he can't work his magic.
Got it up to 99, though.
Yeah, that's definitely worth.
Yeah, Konama got res, but didn't go onto the point. As it turned out, didn't really matter because Bounty Man was able to do it instead.
That's right. Yeah, Bounty Man does go down there, but probably the smart call. Has the Graviton Surge. They do have the time here, yeah.
Yeah, and Bounty Man does have Graviton Surge. They might do a quick dry push just to get more stuff to counter and try to provoke some ults out from who watches the Overwatchers.
Yeah, I mean, wonder how much time they can really afford here. As they're starting to push up on from the upper ground. They're going to fight into 3 ultimates. They have a Graviton on their own. So they're clearly at the disadvantage on the ultimates. So see how they approach here. Bounty Man trying to come in from the upper ground. Does see a lot of people. That's going to be the ultimate. That's going to be the Graviton Surge. Pulling people through. That's two of the supports there. Unfortunately, only getting 1. As now the kills are starting to fall the way of who watches the Overwatchers as Steven Suki goes down and Venar starting to go off, getting into that backline, finding those shots. We're talking about the prowess of the hit scan, the Kree shining.
Yeah, and that almost went very poorly for Overwatchers because Ricky Lago on Zenyatta, he got caught as well as Mercy. He transcended about a 1/10 of a second too late to save Mercy from the Reaper dive. But if he had waited another half second, he would have also been caught out by the Reaper, and that fight would have gone over to Squid Squad because they would have had no healing. So Ricky Lago, he could have been a little quicker, but he was quick enough to win. And now on the map we're going to get to see Brick do his best to boot people off into the Doom well.
Imagination is the essence of this.
Everyone loves the boops in the Doom well. Boops
Of course.
The boop god. Man, immortal words from... I don't know if you guys saw that Contenders when there's just so many boops and Monty just like boops for the boop god. In this
and
case,
they're also bringing they're not bringing Far with Dumpster. I was going to say they're going to try to double boop, but nope, they're bringing May instead.
Imagine getting like just destroyed by Dumpster, someone named Dumpster. I would just get so tilted. Squid Squad moving up here, using that Lucio boost in the wall to get good positioning here first. They're going to be on the point. Let's see how they decide to play this out. Brick trying to look for a quick boop as they push up. Doesn't want to juice, but uses that guide bar on the side to stay in. But yeah, it looks like you're watching the Overwatchers jumping down into this under tunnel here, just battling it out. As Juice already up to 91, but in the back line, this is all so much distraction keeps them from getting onto the point. So who watches the Overwatchers lose it to Squid? The kills start to fall in their favor as well.
And Overwatchers, that's the absolutely right response to a Lucio pushing forward trying to get boops. It's to go in through the underside there, and that's what they're doing. And they're slowly pushing Squid Squad off the point here.
Oh man, did you see that stun grenade thrown by the McCree there right into the dash, getting 3 people into that dash damage. That's 70 free for the Genji, who finishes them off as well. Venar and Tay working quite well together.
Absolutely, and anytime you see a single Genji dash get multiple kills, that's a good Genji dash. Because, I mean, you can't ask for anything more.
That's right, and it's now Squid Squad can try to figure out how to get onto the point. They do have an answer though. Konama with that ultimate, they're going to be popping that, but Tay on the backside is going to be bringing out that Dragon Blade. He's found a bunch of squishies on the corner. He gets down 2 and finds a Mercy off the screen, and now going to have that discorded soldier who's running away. It is a futile attempt here as Tay finalizes the kill into him as well.
I think Brick needs to tone it down a little. He's constantly leading the team looking for those boops, and as Lucio, I would rather see him staying closer to the middle or even slightly behind the rest of his team. On that first push, he was out in front leading them onto the point, and he didn't get punished then. This time he did.
That's right, Bounty Man now going to be sending out that self-destruct right into the middle of the point, but everyone gets out of the way, the line of sight, gets to safety here. We'll see how Squid Squad jumps in, but Transcendent comes out from the back line here. Ricky Lago can keep everyone safe on the point. That's going to be 4 kills there. The 3 kills in the D-Mech for Venar as he continues to do so much work. He goes down, but gets rezzed for it.
So despite the result, Brick did a very good thing. Mr. Bumble was charging right into that Graviton Surge. Brick booped him up so that he charged into the wall above their head. And it would have been a great play if it wasn't for the High Noon that immediately killed the rest of them.
That's what that High Noon. Venar doing such a good job, and you know, we're thinking about it at this higher level. If you can get a good hit scan, that's going to open up a lot for your team. Is LOL trying to push back that McCree. Sitting here with the Genji, 71 on the ultimate. No Dragon Blade yet. Squid Squad holding on to that sound barrier, but that's going to be a big Earth Shatter. Mr. Bumble is going to be finding the monkey into the corner. Now LOL has that Genji Blade and is down into overtime, so it is now or never. As Dumpster start to clear it out with the tack visor. They get the point.
And what I really like is how Konami engaged. He had jumped onto the Genji's head, forced the Genji off the point. That left Reinhardt alone on point for the Overwatchers, and they weren't able to rotate enough beef onto the point to hold it after that.
So really a battle of the beef on the point. I mean, about the health, how long can you stay alive on the point itself? But Tay with the Dragon Blade, but also LOL with the Dragon Blade. It's gonna be battle of the ninjas here, battle of the katanas as Tay works his way around the left side. He has some time to kill here and the time to work with. As Varner goes down, that's a big pick off there. That res has to be used, but here comes the ultimate coming out from Tay. Gonna be finding the mech and now finding the mini diva as well. You see what else you can take. The turnaround kill onto Konama, and that's gonna be the point clear and 99% for who watches the Overwatchers.
And you have to ask yourself, if you're Squid Squad, okay, we took out their best player, made him waste an ult. What more do we have to do?
Man, that was just insane. I mean, when it rains, it pours here. For who watches the Overwatch, just bringing so much, so much prowess on their DPS. As we see a replay now from Mr. Bumble.
And Squid Squad was able to win a few here, but yeah, it didn't look as close as 99 to 60 would usually indicate, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It always felt to me like the Overwatchers, they intentionally were losing some fights because they knew it was either lose a little now or lose a lot later. And every time they lost it, they were able to come back and very decisively retake. Every time.
Yeah, and so, I mean, you see that even for who watches the Overwatchers, when Ven, just try to go for the play, Tay is going to be there to pick up the slack, right? I mean, just having both of them, and we saw in both of those maps, them picking up for each other, them like opening up opportunities like that, the high noon in the covered area. I think it was, I forget the name of that map, but the zoning ultimate to group them up to open up for the Dragon Blade. But yeah, this is definitely going to be really tough for the Squid Squad to fight back from when you have that much skill in DPS role for who watches the Overwatchers.
And we are going to be going to King's Row next here, so we're going to see King's Row again as well.
There we go. I mean, this is a fun map to watch too, right? There's so many different elements of it. Very open first map, a lot of different ways that they can take it. Let's see who decides to defend or defend first here. But
it'll be the Overwatchers deciding if they want to defend or attack first.
For sure, but yeah, I mean, this is gonna be interesting though. I mean, we've been talking, of course, a lot about Ven and Tay. Squid Squad, when you look at the what they've have indicated as their mains, right? So we're gonna see if Dumpster decides to bring out the Hog this time. Can be really good for, especially on in this meta now with the Mercy. If you can get someone into just a poor position where you can't res them in a safe way, that is just so valuable, right? And so I think that in a way now with these Mercy changes is a little bit of a buff to the Hog. I mean, there's been a lot that has happened to Hog over time. Of course, now he can take a breather while walking, which is great. Not completely locked down to take that health increase, but now can be repositioning people. And since he isn't a burst machine just on his own, can now when you have the team play around it, really deny the ability for a Mercy to be effective.
And it looks like the Overwatchers are going to choose to attack first, so they want to lay down their marker first here on King's Row. They're looking for the easy way to swap all here.
Yeah, for sure. So Mukai, I mean, for them to, for the side of Squid Squad, I mean, we talked about the Hog, possibly Dumpster bringing it out. What do you think are some of the other things that they could do to combat this DPS duo?
I think a Junkrat would also be a good play into here to what the Overwatchers are doing, but I would definitely like to see the Roadhog come out. I think they almost have to at this point, because you've got to have somebody who can make both Genji and McCree uncomfortable, and what they're doing right now, I don't really see it.
Yeah, for sure. And so, yeah, like you said, this is going to be, who watches the Overwatchers now on the attack first? Believe, yeah, and Squid Squad should be taking the defense first. Yep, that's right. But yeah, I think Junkrat, we saw a great Junkrat play again out of our last matchup. Especially when it's in the payload, right? You know exactly where they need to be, and just put the Junkrat grenades down, right? And we saw the 50% charge immediately at the opening of King's Row in our last matchup as well. So we'll see what Squid Squad decides to reply with on their first time on defense here.
I would also like to see a little bit more in the way of barriers for Squid Squad. Just anything to frustrate the McCree. It might be, as much as I hate to say this, a Torbrissa might be a good choice when Squid Squad's on defense. And it looks like they are going to be bringing out the Roadhog here.
I mean, one thing I want to point out though about some of the errors with Squid Squad was that they, as a deathball comp, were really spread apart, and it really allowed Tay to use his mobility and his ability to get quick kills a lot easier, especially when you can just dash to another person, get some kills, get the kill, dash away to another person, just chain between people that are spread out.
And Squid Squad they're showing triple tank. They're showing Zarya, Roadhog, and Rhine. I really like that. I really like the choice here. It's going to be all down to LOL on if they can have a good day on Soldier here, because they're going to be the only DPS. But I think triple tank is the right call.
Yeah, and early on, we're looking at the side of who watches the Overwatchers. Tay, I think before is again showing such good play on the Genji. Might see a switch out of that when they see the triple tank. You want to have a way to get to that back line, get to that Soldier, and be able to lay the damage down, because otherwise you're going to have 3 tanks with big health pools to fight through before you can get to the Soldier.
So they're going to come in main here, and they're already starting to get a little intelligence. They've been able to see all 3 tanks already, so they know what they're up against here.
Yeah, and Tay actually already, before leaving, switched to Genji, so they do have an option now to get to that backline. And the triple DPS, like you said, Mr. Bumble, but the engage comes through from Juice, who's already starting to drop a lot of health, but doesn't go down right away. And so, good trade there. LOL did get taken out by Tay. Does get rezzed, but it gets taken out yet again. That's going to be Ricky Lago on his main, the Zenyatta, raining in the damage from the back. And it looks like here, very slowly but surely, who watches the Overwatchers taking the first point.
Decisive engage. They got all the picks that they needed. Just brisk, business-like first tank. And as soon as Konami goes down, they're going to be taking this point just like that. So within the first minute, the Overwatchers are going to be able to take point A. Let's see how well they can push to try to get through the streets phase in one lunge.
Yeah, I mean, just pretty crazy. And you look at the momentum that's going to be gained here now for who watches the Overwatchers, taking it in a decisive first fight. Now have 2 ultimates to 0. Konami close though. The Reinhardt almost close to that Earth Shatter at 5% left to go.
And Dumpster's already switched from Roadhog off to May. It's an interesting choice. Not sure how well it's going to work out in practice. I think they're already thinking stalling for time.
Yeah, so definitely have to watch for how Dumpster decides to play and put those walls. It'll be very crucial here. But Mr. Bumble taking out LOL, and they're going to the back line. That's going to be Tay bringing out that Dragon Blade and combining it also with the Rocket Barrage. So Mr. Tay has to go all the way back and find the Mei on the back line. That's a team kill for who watches the Overwatchers.
And May just stood still and waved and said hi as she died, just wanting to die quickly to not stagger.
Yeah, I mean, this triple tank isn't quite working for Squid Squad. They can't peel for the Soldier. I mean, you can't block a Genji dash.
Hold on. Look at Venard. He's about to ult. He's hiding.
Uh-oh. He's on that upper ground. Oh, just spans from the hammer. He clears out the shield first and only gets 1 kill into the Soldier, but that's not going to be enough. They do have a reply. Konami drops down the Earth Shatter, so they're going to start to find the damage here. Looks like they're going to be able to contest here, but it could be in the hands of the reinforcements to decide if they win this or not.
And Dumpster switching back onto Hog, and rapidly switching like that, it's good in practice, but burning a whole lot of ult charge there.
That's right. Yeah, Venar had a good idea, cleared out the Reinhardt first, and then went for the High Noon. But the team, Squid Squad, did a good job retreating around the corner and only losing 1 on that fight. So now they get pushed back. Didn't hit the second point yet.
And the Squids are going to be hoping to pair off the Graviton Surge, probably with Attack Visor if they can. It's just going to be a question of making sure that there's nobody who can deny that around still when they ult.
That's right. So Bounty Man on the defense has the Graviton Surge, like you said, and the Attack Visor from LOL. see if they can decide to combine this. But oh my goodness, a quick pick there. Flanking Juice takes down the brick, so no res going to be available here, and that's going to be the go sign for Juice. And who watches the Overwatchers is now the high noon coming in from the backline. How many is he going to get here? No, he's just holding on to it. Is the zoning ultimate. That shield is going to be blocking it out, but Tay in the backline doing a lot of damage, takes out the soldier and the hog. Konami goes down as well. Overwatchers will take this point likely.
Absolutely, and you know, they didn't get a chance to use their ults, which is good because it would have been a wasted ult if they had used it there. So now Squid Squad, this next engagement, the first or the third point, is going to be crucial because they've really got to stall the momentum here because Overwatchers is starting to run away with it.
That's right. Konami does have the Earth Shatter. Playing a Reinhardt into no Reinhardt definitely feels good, but you have to have the rest of the team with you. A lot of damage can get dropped down as Juice jumps to the front line, drops down that bubble. Oh, but it gets slept here, so this could be the go sign. Konami is holding on to that. LOL does pop the tactical visor, does take out one, but gets taken out by Ricky Lago yet again. Konami still holding on to that Earth Shatter, looking for the right moment, but the entire team of who watches the Overwatchers is already pretty much wiped, except for Tay, who might go down here. No, he is able to retreat around the corner.
Yeah, that was a good engage, and I especially like that Dumpster and Konami held onto their ults rather than burn them as well. They did exactly what they had to do. They halted the momentum. Now the next fight, it's going to be even in terms of ult advantage, and if Squid Squad can win this next one, I think they're in good shape.
That's right. Oh, big Earth Shatter, but only gets the Winston down, so that's not going to be enough. But Sistel decides to go in. Konami get into the back line. He's going to be sacrificing himself for not even getting a kill, as Tay is about to have that ultimate, does have this ready to go, but they may not need it. They're starting to reach position. Do have the Mercy jumping in. Reses the Zarya into the back line. That won't be good enough. Ultimate comes out from Tay. See how much damage he does get. The Roadhog here was very low already. Getting in that Ana and going to the back line, getting those resets, those dashes, gets him all the way to the spawn, and now burning down Konami.
And now it's going to be a race to see how many of them can respawn and get on point before they just win the entire map. It's not going too well so far, and the Nano comes out on Dumpster as Roadhog, and he's going to use it mostly just to get on and dance around the point, but dumps Zenyatta off a cliff.
Oh, and the 2 kills off of the high noon, and here comes Konami to try to stall as much as possible, but that's going into a fully stocked Overwatchers team, as Mr. Bumble even has that cannon barrage ready to go, decides to not even use it. It could be on this right side. Yeah, they're just holding on to it just in case, and that's what you want to do. Make sure you get the win as they completely finish. Yeah, and we see now in replay the high noon here that opened up. You see it pretty much got all the way into the back of the point, and so was high nooning from off of the flank, so got 2 kills there, and that really opened it up for who watched the Overwatchers. They had so much in their kit though. We saw at the end Mr. Bumble still had the rocket barrage, so pretty one-sided there in that last push.
And one amusing thing, Squid Squad did go Ana right at the end and landed a sleep dart on Venard right as Venard killed the Ana. So not an equal trade there. Just a little amusing to see Venard sleeping on the point as it drifted the last few meters into win.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the big things though, when we're seeing, and I know we've been talking a lot about Tay's play and who watches the Overwatchers, but just on that last fight, when you're able to string together the kills like Tay was able to do, that is what can completely dismantle your team. You have one person who's low, like the Hog went down to that, give a dash reset, that's 70 damage, and then you dash in again, another 120 damage from the swipe, and it can just completely snowball to allow you to keep the momentum going. So who watches the Overwatch is playing really well around the Genji for sure.
And on defense, it looks like the Overwatchers are bringing out, you know, pretty much the same thing they've been bringing out. They've got a 2-2-2. Venard still on the omnipresent McCree. Juice is going to be on Zarya and pairing with Bumble as the Rhine. On offense, it looks like they're going to go full dive, Squid Squad is, because they've got, well, they had a Genji and they had a Tracer and they had a Winston. And oh, they still do. LOL switched to Genji instead of Bounty Man. So looks like going to be a full dive into a 2-2-2 here.
Yeah, and this could be good. I mean, if you're not expecting it, if they get a good pick onto the back line here, I mean, just a matter of getting the support and Venar uncomfortable. If you can do that, then you might be able to push them off the point and get the percentage as they start to move in. Tay be jumping back now as Bounty Man and Konami together trying to vie for position. Bounty Man starting to jump in. Dumpster goes down in the back line, trying to get the flank onto Venar, but he gets outsmarted, likely by the stun. They're continuing to try to get this point. Tay taking a lot of damage, almost goes down, but kept alive by all the healing. Pretty much a stalemate so far as they keep pushing back and forth. This tank line doing a good job on both sides.
And Venard showed off why we called him out as the likely carry. Venard was on the low ground, Tracer was on the high ground. Venard landed this flashbang perfectly, and then very quickly just one tap Tracer right in the head.
That's right, and Dumpster did get taken down, but rezzed immediately. But the other DPS, LOL, goes down on the Genji as well, but they're starting to make some decent progress here. Konama starting to push up, as well as Bounty Man. They're going to be working their way this left side. They're completely going around. This McCree could be in the middle of a lot of hurt, as now Bounty Man gets demexed, so the tanks are starting to really fall. Konama does have the Primal Rage, but decides to try to back out. No, will go down as he watches the Overwatchers, has a 5 ultimate to 3 advantage.
And clean defense, and they didn't have to use a lot of ults to do it as well, which is why that's what you really want to see here. So now it's going to be on Squid Squad to try to respond. They've got a lot of intelligence about what's going on. Looks like they're going to try to go through the theater and go to the high ground next here.
Yeah, really good break too for the Squid Squad. Venar popped the ultimate, maybe by mistake. Don't know if they're trying to zone him out, but really there is no push happening at the time. So this could be the opening that Squid Squad needs.
It's going to still be all about getting that early pick though, and then it's going to be about getting another one after that first pick's rezzed.
Oh, LOL taking a lot of damage. That sound barrier is going to keep everyone alive as they're lit. The dragon, the Graviton Surge, but Tay comes in with a Dragon Blade on top of that, just dumping damage, getting a lot of efficiency off of each swipe. Is now Bounty Man out of the mech, so can't do very much. Konama still holding on to that Primal Rage, so just trying to tickle everyone with the Tesla Cannon here. Sueki does bring back Brick, so they do have another support, but here comes Konama on the backside. Gonna be trying to burn down, but Ricky Lago has the Transcendence, so buying even more time for the defense here. Bounty Man does have the self-destruct, but looks like Squid Squad will have to regroup here.
And I think that entire fight kind of traced out from the aftermath of the Graviton Surge. 4 people died in it, and Suki burned their ult to resurrect 2 of them immediately. 2 of them had to come and respawn. That kind of put Squid Squad on the back foot number-wise the entire rest of the fight.
That's going to be the self-destruct thrown up by Bounty Man. Does take out Ricky Lago, so no healing there or the DPS from him as well, but does get res. That's going to be LOL popping the Dragon Blade in the back. He does find Ricky Lago yet again, and he's going to be running right into the face of who watches the Overwatchers, but not able to get another kill, and Tay comes back and finishes him off. Konama still on the point, just trying to keep him alive here. Only 50 seconds left to go. They need to take this point if they want to be able to contest and stay in this matchup.
And Single J on Mercy just going almost completely uninterfered with, and that all pretty much made sure that the Overwatchers were going to hold this first point. Squid Squad's going to have 1 push left, and it's tough to see how they're going to pull it off. They don't have a lot of ults to work with.
I mean, they're running this dive, but they can't even get in, or they're just not selecting the same targets. And we see like Venar and Ricky Lago going low so often, but it takes so much to get those kills. So Squid Squad need to dive in together. As Konama jumps to the back line here. He's trying to figure out his target, but Tay pops that ultimate. He gets the dash kill onto Brick, who does get immediately rezzed, but takes out the other support. In return, he finishes off Brick as well, even though Konami is raging his way onto the point. He has no support coming up. Dumpster, though, now on that Junkrat. So we're going to see now has the Rip Tire ready to go. Is just really on the point here. Only 17 health alive. Gotta stay alive, but gets tickled to death by Juice's the cannon. Looks like they control the point.
And
here.
Squid Squad's going to take this first point. And I think the difference there was that they made taking down Single J on Mercy the priority. And once the Mercy went down, there just wasn't enough sustain to get through the rest of the damage. I do like Konama's ult to get on the point and hold a lot of it early on. That's going to buy them a chance here. They're still at they've got a huge disadvantage in time bank, but they're still alive.
And we've seen the momentum shift that can happen, or just the momentum that can be maintained when you have a Junkrat on such a tight corridor map like Kings Row here as we move into the street space. But they do have a Zarya. Juice is going to be sucking up a lot of that juice from the charge. Dumpster looks for a good spot. Ooh, yeah, gets the upper ground here. Rips out the Rip Tire. We're going to see how much he's able to find. A res just, but a big Bounty Man gets 2, and add another 2 to that. That is going to be a 4-kill advantage, as Bounty Man does get res back and gets back into the mech, and they're going to keep this ball rolling.
Yeah, clinical use of ults, invested 2 ults to get 4 kills. That's all you need. And it started off with the quick pick on Venard, forcing Mercy to res him early. And that's one of the downsides of being so reliant on a single person for a lot of your DPS.
And they're pushing this on straight through. Looks like Mr. Bumble sitting there with a shield, but that's going to get bursted down. He does bring out, it's going to be the Earth Shatter, and they're going to be layering on top of that. But LOL is holding on to that Dragon Blade, could be looking for a prime opportunity. He's still on his back line, his own back line here. He jumps to the back though. He's got his eyes onto that Mercy, trying to find it, but no, that's going to be Tay protecting the supports.
And I like what Overwatchers did with staggering their offensive ults. The first one brought out the sound barrier, and then the Graviton Surge and Dragon Sword came out.
Oh man, it was looking so good for them. LOL got completely to the back line, but Tay maybe had stiffed it out, tracking that ultimate of his opposite. Oh, what is this? Valkyrie, single J, just scouting it out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get intelligence, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, maybe had popped that ultimate from the previous fight. We do know the duration is quite long. Suki, though, holding on to that as well. But, ooh, Venar in the back line. He's trying to get that high noon off, but this could be the overextension as Venar does make his way up around the corner. He is still behind the rest of the team and now is damage boosted. Here we go. The D.Va is just having a tough time finding him, and Venar will be able to demech the D.Va. So this is going to be really tough here. Squid Squad not staying together on this push.
And Bernard got a little cocky there with that long flank, but, you know, they weren't made to pay for it.
Ooh, but Dumpster here, the Junkrat coming in big, gets the Riptire, takes out the Genji, now getting up a little bit above the point, so just sitting on that, laying down the grenades. But here comes Mr. Bumble with a big Earth Shatter, going to be putting down a lot of people onto the ground, and now they just got to clean up around the point.
All that's left is a Zarya, you know, high energy Zarya, but down she goes.
That's right, and now just to secure the point, that's going to be a good zoning ultimate, but they're still able to be contested here. To watch the Overwatchers with some smart positioning. Don't know how they're contesting this now. It's going to be pushing on through as Tay goes down.
And Tay hid, used the payload to block the ult that was on top of the payload. Good use of the payload geometry there, but it only bought them a few seconds. And so no matter what, the Squid Squad's going to be, even if they win this, they're going to be at the ult time disadvantage. Sorry.
For sure, and Bounty Man taking a lot of damage, but that opens up a little bit more for the rest of the team to push in. Konama on the back line as well. Brick goes off the map, unfortunately, so here comes the Dragon Blade. Here come from Tay, and he's going to be jumping onto the back line yet again, like he does. Getting the kill onto Suki as well. They just got the res off on Konama, but now doesn't have a support to heal him up, as Tay losing a lot of health on the point, but I mean, who watches the Overwatchers playing so well together to keep up their carry?
Yeah, and Squid Squad's going to be able to put it together one last push here. They've got a few ults, so it's going to be a pretty ult-heavy fight here at the end. I think I like Overwatchers to hold this, though.
Yeah, for sure. Dumpster does have the Riptire, right? So it's going to be, you have to be very smart about when the Riptire is going to be let go. You see Dumpster starting to move around. Yeah, his positioning here could use this upper window. He's going to be dropping it around. They do see it coming. He does take out Juice, so that's going to actually be pretty good for the Junkrat, especially as LOL jumps into the back line, gets Ben R. So that's going to be their big DPS, one of them that takes them out. But the Graviton Surge in reply as Juice was rezzed, and now the kill feed filling up in red as Who Watches the Overwatch is starting to wipe the floor.
And as the ults start to come out, Suki does go down for the Squid Squad, so they're not going to have a lot of that sustain. It's going to be all down to Konama to try to stall out for the rest of his team to get back, but he goes down, and that's going to be Overwatcher's map.
There you go. The key play. Who do you pick with the Riptire? Taking down the tank and Juice, who gets insta-rezzed. You think it's a go sign, but in fact, kind of baiting yourself into that Graviton Surge. But we'll see the play the game, of course, from Tay.
Yeah, again, I understand why the Junkrat did it, because if they had kept going past there, probably would have gotten picked off by Venard. There wasn't a lot of cover for that tire. But I still think it was a slight misplay to go for a solo Zarya kill.
Yeah. I mean, normally you gotta reapproach. It's crazy how much you have to reevaluate the game now in meta just because of one rework, right? And just the Mercy's played in a completely different way now, right? And while that might have happened. Like in the previous patch before changes, you probably wouldn't have res that. That's just one person, so you just contest until your Zarya can get back. But now you can afford an early pick if your team can play really well together. And so it's about the chess game now, especially, and that's what we saw in this last match.
So looking at these two rosters, I'm trying to figure out what the Squid Squad can do to try to even this up. Because so far it looks like the Overwatchers, they've got just a skill and coordination advantage on them. They're really relying a lot on Venard and Tay as their DPS duo. So I'm trying to see what the Squids can do to try to counter those two. And
Yeah.
I'm not coming up with a lot of good answers right now for them.
Yeah, I mean, you saw on Kings Row, Squid Squad, I think they did a bit better than they did on Nepal. They, were pushing through the overtime. Both times, they got to overtime. They pushed it through, last second. And maybe are starting to get things together, but I mean, they're getting outclassed here by who watches the Overwatchers. Definitely on, I mean, not just like a skill front, but on a team chemistry front. You see who watch the Overwatchers. They're making their combinations. But also the Squid Squad. Their awareness is off. You see Venard, he keeps creeping up behind them, doing some high noons. I mean, that's nothing you could. I mean, you have to take advantage of someone being out of position like that. Then you're all of a sudden now you're at a 6 versus 5 if you can catch them out of position. And it's almost like Roadhog. When you used to be able to play sneaky Roadhog, but before all his nerfs, if you were able to take him out, then you were on a 6 versus 5, something like that. So
yeah,
while we're here waiting for them to pick we're gonna have the Squid Squad pick their assault map. We are gonna have another giveaway. So. Again, this is the final giveaway for some Overwatch University stickers. If you win, you will message me on Discord. So I'm going to start the giveaway. We're going to do this next map, and then we'll be rolling for the giveaway after the next map. Okay. And we did get word that the Squid Squad will be choosing Hanamura. So anyway,
right.
The giveaway word you're going to be typing is overtime after all those overtimes that Squid Squad was running. And, maybe let's see what we're at the halfway point. Who watches the Overwatchers is up by 2. Let's see, if they can turn this around like Kavidi did. They got the tie out of it.
In that one, though, Kaiviti, you could see the signs that there was going to be a long and close match. Here, Squid Squad's going to have to make a change to be able to do that, because so far, I haven't seen that from them. They've got to make some drastic change, though. Otherwise, Overwatchers could just run away with the other two.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I guess if there's a map to turn it around, though, a lot of people like to call it Dranamura. So we'll see how how this plays out. But yeah, I mean, we did see Squid Squad show a lot of signs of life with the Junkrat, right? And for them to be able, I mean, we were asking earlier, like, how can they combat against about Venar and Tay together, that duo? There's going to be a lot about awareness and doing picking heroes who can afford, like, if someone sneaks up on you, do you have a kit that can deal with it, right? So whether it's we've seen Torbrissa, or the Holy Trinity of Torbrissa and Symmetra, as Fruit likes to call it in contenders. But yeah, it's a very popular. It's very viable on this first point, right? Because even if the Torbrissa is going to earn a lot of time for your team, right? And the Symmetra turret's getting the ultimate charge, and then you have a TP up, right? So there's a lot of room for error if you do play into that, but it depends on how well your team can keep the shield up and keep that turret up. And so Squid Squad is going to have to get creative here if they're going to have any chance to take down who watches the Overwatchers.
Yeah, and again, with Hanamura, it's not as good a map for Sombra as some of the other 2 CP maps, but we could see her come out still. And the Squid Squad's going to be attacking first this time, as the Overwatchers have opted to defend first for this one.
Very cool. So just switching sides. Now we saw who watches the Overwatchers on the red first, but I believe now the Squid Squad on the red side. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll see very shortly what they opt into as.
And Tay again is teasing us with a Torbjorn gameplay that we haven't gotten to see all night. It tears my heart.
But maybe not.
Maybe.
I mean, it is like they are defense first, right? So
that's true.
They could do it. Ooh, still on the Torb. He leaves spawn with Torb. All right.
Yes.
Your prayers are answered. So, okay. We'll have to see where he decides to put the turret, right? Mukai, for you, when you play Torbjorn, because I know you play so much Torbjorn.
Absolutely.
Right? Well, where's your favorite place to put the turret on this map on defense?
Behind a shield. That's kind of a cop-out answer, but you've got to put it somewhere where they're not going to see it coming a long way away, and somewhere where it's going to be able to get a lot of damage coming out. I like the high ground in a few different places for it. If you bring a Mei with you, you can use her Ice Wall to boost up to some really tricky places to put the turret, but in reality, I mean, it looks like Tay might be going for the sneaky turret behind everyone strat, which is kind of, it can work. It works more against, quick play solo queues, but it can work.
That's right, but we see Tay going for the early turret on their left side on the defense, so trying to get some early ultimate charge. Let's see how much it earns him. We see Squid Squad, yeah, they do take it down, but not before Tay gets 9%, so not bad. Tay's going to actually put it onto the back stairs, so a little bit... Oh no, this does have view. What a good spot, actually. This is pretty solid. It has complete view of the choke point, but then we'll be able to shoot this Reinhardt as Konami starts to charge in, and look at all the damage getting burst down onto him. Charging in, thinking it's a good idea, but nope, there is a turret there as Tay gets 2 kills. Something goes down as well.
And I do like that point for the turret. It's one of those sneaky points where you can, again, you can cover the entire point, you can cover the choke. The entire engage, though, does look like it's actually going the Overwatcher's way here again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we did see a lot of kills go for the Squid Squad as they got to the point. Dumpster actually did a lot of work on the Junkrat, already up to 8% ulti, but it wasn't enough. Their supports went down, and so now they're going to have to regroup here.
And Dumpster on Junkrat, I think they've got to step up and start doing a lot more damage at this choke. Already up to 85%, so they've been getting a lot of damage. I think it's going to depend on them going forward.
Yeah, for sure, and it's about the decisiveness, right? You have only a little bit of time here as the turret will just continue to put damage on the shield. Konami has to retreat around the back corner. Only has, yeah, the shield goes down now. Throws the fire stick across as they're sneaking around, and look, Bounty Man and Dumpster getting taken out already. Oh no, and on the back line, the Mercy goes down as well, so Squid Squad are gonna have to find a way to get out of here or just die fast. LOL, behind enemy lines. Just sneaking around, 62 health. Just trying to stay alive, waiting for the rest of the team to come back up as Dumpster looking for the next spot to shoot from. And so yeah, Mukai, I mean, they got 3 ults here versus into 5. I mean, just pretty much they just straight up lose this, or how do they even approach?
I would do another dry push here. They've got time to do it. With Hanamura, it's really important that you just get to that second point, because if you get to the second point, you can force, no matter what, a second round of attacks. It's going to be hard for them, though.
Yeah, Dumpster, he gets rezzed, gets killed and rezzed immediately on this right side. So, oh, but Venar comes around and gets a fan on the hammer kill. That's going to be the res pretty much used for nothing as they can't gain even more position as Konama has the Earth Shatter, but only has 51 on the shield. Definitely have to regroup here. They're just having a tough time finding this entryway. Venard is going to have ultimate pretty soon, 40% left to go, and that's going to be a full house.
And Dumpster is bringing out the Widow as we see the Graviton Surge here. Doesn't get a lot of result from it. I would like to see a bit more flanking going on through that up-in window from the Squid Squad, but so far I'm just not really seeing it.
Oh, but LOL with a reflect kill onto Venard, but he does get rezzed immediately afterwards. Has the Dragon Blade, but can't even use it as Jumpster is now switched on to the Widowmaker. They're just trying to get some picks before they even move in, but can't even do that. 50 seconds left to go. Time's running out for Squid Squad.
Yeah, they've got one more really good push left. They do have the Dragon Blade, they do have Valkyrie ready, but that's about all they have left. And so far, they've got to do something different than what they've been doing.
Yeah, for sure, and now it's a little bit equal. Yeah, it is equal now on the ultimates. Oh, but what is this? The flank Earth Shatter from Mr. Bumble as he completely wipes the team. Almost certainly going to play the game there with that triple kill. And right when you think everyone is grouped up and ready to get pushed through, that Earth Shatter comes in from behind you. Mr. Bumble with the excellent positioning.
Like that's just spicy.
Yeah.
That's kind of disrespectful, but I mean, they made it work. What more can you say about it? And at this
Oh,
point,
man.
if I'm on Squid Squad, I mean, you guys are pretty much lost this match. The best you can do is tie. That really didn't go well. Take a breath, figure out what's going on. What can we change? Because if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting, and that ain't good for you right now.
Man, that was super rough. You can imagine the comms. It's like, guys, we got one more push. Wait, where's that? Oh, okay, we're dead.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a tilter. That's a tilter for sure. But yeah, so I mean, we saw a great turbine placement early on, right? As they moved in, they did get to the point, right? And that was the last time. That first push was the last time that Reinhardt was able to even touch the A of the attack next to the bell. But yeah, I mean, now they got a hold here. So what do they do?
What do they do? I'd like to see a Roadhog, but I'd like to see somebody with good barriers and a lot of good reflex barriering even more. I don't know. Dumpster and Kanama are still kind of deciding what to take here, and it's a big decision. On the other side, Overwatchers, they don't have any reason to stop doing what they've been doing. It's been working. They don't need to change.
Yeah, for sure. And Squid Squad still figuring out exactly what they want to use as their attacking team here. Definitely need a Reinhardt. Right? You got to have the on the defense. You need some shields there for sure. And who watches the Overwatchers bringing out exactly what we've seen before. Ricky Lago still trying to frag out on the Zenyatta.
And they're going to take the Mei here.
Yeah.
Which I can see why. Might have waited a bit too long to get on for the first fight, though.
Yeah, gonna be running back from the spawn, so won't have Mei here for the initial push. So gonna be relying on Mr. Bumble or on Konami, excuse me, for this initial push. But Mei still not there, only just getting to the backside of the point. But he does get here in time. We do see Tay jumping right past here, and there's the ice wall now isolating Tay out. We do get the kill, so far so good for the Squid Squad.
And that's exactly what you want to do. They picked off the Mercy as she came in to try to resurrect Tay. Now they just have to do it about 4 or 5 more times.
Ooh, LOL finding now his stride there. Getting into that tempo is now Squid Squad looking pretty good here. Even getting a late pick on Mr. Bumble, and Vernard also going down as well. Venard.
And let's see, what are they going to do? What are Overwatchers going to do? They actually got held the first time, so now they're bringing pretty much the same thing. LOL's just farming ult from up there on top.
Oh, there's the frag, though. Ricky Lago taking out LOL. Does draw out the res, though. So see how quickly they can work their way in. Tay dashes through, but a little bit preemptive. Doesn't have that ultimate ready to go. So maybe just surveying the land and seeing that they can draw as much damage as possible. Mr. Bumble has definitely winning the shield war, but puts up that shield in blocking time. But no, the Mei saying don't charge in there. Don't go and die. So might have been good there for Squid Squad. But now Overwatch is starting to push through. Oh, but a big Graviton Surge, as now they can see if they can put the damage together, but they can't. The isolation is good enough, though.
Yeah, they're just getting in their way now. The Reinhardt charge into a Mei wall, the Graviton Surge with no real follow-up. It's tough to watch.
Yeah, don't know if that Mei wall was intentional, but here on the backside, we do see who watches the Overwatchers starting to sneak their way onto the point. Tay goes down, gets rezzed, and then goes down yet again. Now a lot of ultimates used for not any progress.
And they are going to hold it again, so they've held half of these 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So Squid Squad, despite some of the setbacks, they are holding pretty well so far.
And they're being so efficient too, right? With the ultimates here and at their advantage. But that might be a big pick. Bounty Man goes down to Juice, so Squid Squad losing a member, losing one of their tanks, so going to need to rely on this Mei wall to be able to keep the push from going. But Konama goes to jump in, puts up the Earth Shatter, but it is next to a wall, so they can't even follow up there. The Mei and Reinhardt is not just working well. That is just not working at all. It is a clear line of sight for who watches the Overwatch. Another point.
A lot of ults came out there, a lot of lack of coordination, and in the end, the lack of coordination ends up helping out the Overwatchers, who take the point and take this third map.
Yeah, it's going to be 3-0 on this map. For who watches the Overwatchers? Fortunately, the
1-0 on the map.
Yeah, and see this replay here. Mr. Bumble, this is going to be that quick, really clear, which works really well with them, and they're able to keep the push and get a lot of kills and stagger them quite well, but it wasn't enough.
So we're going to have one more map tonight. It's going to be a payload map, and again, Squid Squad's going to be able to pick which map it is, and the Overwatch is going to pick whether or not they attack or defend first. So while we wait to see for that, it was a good hold. It was almost long enough. Squid Squad showing a few signs of life, but still, they're fighting against heavier firepower here.
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, the overtime was that keyword. So I will be doing that draw now for that giveaway. And the winner is Tay23. So Tay23 is in this game right now for WWTO. So congratulations, Tay. And you're going to be winning some stickers. Good play as Genji. I'm proud of you. Makes me happy. And looks like we're getting a... I don't think that Switch Squad's coming back, actually.
I'm not sure they realized this was 4 map instead of best of 5.
Well, while we go to, to round them back in, but yeah, I mean, let's Mukai, what did you think about? I mean, they had the Mei Reinhardt play, kind of worked, but then kind of played against itself there without the coordination at the end.
It worked for a little while. I think it worked as well as anything they could have picked would have done. But in the end, they were trying to full hold on Hanamura, and that's always a hard ask. But I think the Mei and Reinhardt combo, that was about the best they could have done.
Yeah, for sure. Because I saw that first wall when the Reinhardt had the Earth Shatter, and then it was straight into a shield, and still tried to charge into it. The Mei wall's like, nope, don't go too far, but wasn't enough. And even at the end there too, yeah, definitely as a Reinhardt, you got to make sure that you're calling out when you're about to do your ultimate and when you do your ultimate, right? You got to prep your team. You got to make sure that they know that it's about to come, right? It's about to go. And so, yeah, you got to make sure, especially when you're taking heroes with kits that work against each other, you got to do a really good job to coordinate. And Mei is one of those heroes for sure that plays against a lot of the other heroes for sure. I think the only one maybe that she synergizes well with is like Doomfist, put up the wall and rocket punch somebody into the wall. Definitely a tough hero to play with the team.
And we're going to be going to Gibraltar next for our final map. And Gibraltar, my favorite map. I love it. I've always loved it. I really like the hangar because for as much of it has a reputation as being a graveyard of pushes, if you're really aggressive after the first point, you can roll that hangar. And I always love to see it. It's a beautiful play when it works out right.
Yeah, and tend to see a lot of, especially in the pro play, Widowmaker, because there's so many long sight lines. And getting onto the aircraft and the hangar as well, when you're taking damage, right, you don't know exactly which direction it's coming from. And when you have someone doing it from above you and you can't even get to them as someone who's on the ground, it can be really, really powerful. So expect to see a lot more verticality in this matchup here. The Genji might be good enough, but we'll see if the Widowmaker is also brought out as well.
Yeah, so on Gibraltar, think we're going to see anything unusual in the way of hero picks on either side. Gibraltar doesn't really lend itself to a lot of craziness, I don't feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's saying just the Widowmaker. Maybe Hanzo. Definitely might see it on the opening. It's important to know where the defensive team is setting up, or where they are deciding to set up shop, whether it's in the car wash, as we lovingly call the underpass of any tunnel. Thanks to all the, I feel it's just like symmetric play, right? Whenever Symmetrists put all of their turrets around in an arc, and then you just looks like a car wash when you go through. But yeah, I mean, decide to see Squid Squad's going to have to be creative in how they approach and how they defend through these choke points.
And Overwatchers are going to be on attack first, so they're looking to try to go through all 3 points and lay down their marker early.
That's right, and so switching sides yet again. Squid Squad on the blue, with Who Watches the Overwatchers on the red, and Venard picking right away into the McCree, looking to make some more highlight reel plays. Now, as expected, a little more verticality. As we thought, Dumpster going to be electing to go into the Pharah.
Yeah, and on defense, it looks like, yeah, we're going to be seeing a pharmacy from Dumpster and Suki. Aside from that, 2-2-2. LOL is going to be on the Genji instead of the Soldier. Had a lot of success, actually, on Genji early on.
Yeah, early on, and then, because you look at the rest of the heroes, you need to keep him alive, and And I think I would have to ask definitely him for like, you know, the number one reason why, like what separates like a good and a bad Genji player, because we're seeing LOL have some success and have not, but Tay has been just completely tearing it up on, you know, whenever Genji is in his hands.
Well, Tay's been really successful with his ults too, but I mean his team really helps him out. As we've seen before, you know, Venard has been making that, you know, clearing the area so that, you know, Genji can come right in there, get the cleanups. And I mean, LOL, he's been getting killed during the middle of his ult or getting shut down for the most part. But let's get into this game here. And
yeah, who watches the Overwatcher is going to be attacking first here on the red. Is already escorting the payload as Squid Squad backing up a little bit to take the high ground on the defense. So Juice jumping in, surveying the ground. And are already on the ground as well.
Yeah, and Squid Squad opting to defend from the absolute highest ground. Kind of the hazard there is that it almost gives up getting the payload all the way into the car wash very quickly. And you have to time the rotate right, otherwise they're going to be up that hill before you know it.
That's right, and you see how much space Juice is getting, just jumping into the back line, and look at all the people damaging him, and then just the Mercy comes in and then runs away, gets that res off onto Juice, gets him back on a second life, and he can retreat back. But already a lot of progress here from who watches the Overwatcher.
Yeah, it's going their way pretty quickly here. I mean, Venard's popping off. Their Zen just got a triple kill, y'all.
Yeah, Ricky Lago says, hey, Venard, I can frag out too from my position. I'm going to heal you and get gold on both the damage and the heals. The Venard here being a little cheeky, sneaking by from behind, has that ultimate. The High Noon is ready to go now for this next push.
And as a Zen main, I love to see Zens fragging out. So now let's see if the Overwatchers can push right through this hangar hold, because I mean, Squid Squad, they're not really going to the upper ground, and they die en masse.
Oh
wow!
Man, look how he prepped that too. He got the mech first and then popped the High Noon, right? So no defensive matrix, but also you finalize a kill onto the Diva as well. That is a 4K from Venard, now on fire.
They're going to have one more chance to stop this in the hangars, and they're going to have to, otherwise this is going to get real ugly.
And here comes the defensive. Bounty Man putting down the self-destruct, but unfortunately goes down to Tay as well. It's brought back by Suki, but not for very long, as both supports now go down for the Squid Squad. But now finally Werner getting charged and thrown off the side. Ricky Lago, though, still up, has the Transcendence ready to go. Looks like they may not need it, as it's only Dumpster left.
Yeah, and Kanama tried to pull off the Earth Shatter late on and just shattered right into a barrier. And now look at Squid Squad. They're split up. They've got 3 behind and they've got 3 in front. So it's going to be 6v3, and they're calling for a pause here. So let's see how long it takes to... Yeah, and the pause comes out. They lost their captain, Overwatchers did. At this point, I'm tempted to let them play 5v6 and see how well they do, though.
Oh no. Yep. But you know, it's all good. So luckily, it wasn't to the disadvantage of unfortunately they had the disconnect, but at least it was on the same team, right? That you had,
and Juice is back already. It was just a brief disconnect here.
All right, guys. So we'll be resuming very soon, but maybe maybe a good thing for Squid Squad. Maybe some divine intervention. Squid Squad need to take a breath. Need to regather themselves here.
Yeah, and it is going to wipe out all of Juice's ult charge, so I mean, that's something.
Yeah, for sure. And gotta play their strengths, right? I mean, they're definitely. I mean, it's definitely tilting to play against this, right? When it feels like you can't do anything, but they can. So much of esports is about the mental game, right? And the reflexes as well. As now starting out pretty well. LOL. That kill onto Ricky Lago as well, so starting to make their way to holding here.
Yeah, and despite that attack being 5v6, it doesn't really do anything, and Juice does go on to Winston here for the final point attack.
See Dumpster back onto the Junkrat. Starting to... Oh, but a great block there of the Earth Shatter. Mr. Bumble throws it into the shield, but Konama goes down, gets rezzed up right away, and this is going to still open up a lot of time for Dumpster to be able to get the damage down. But unfortunately here we have LOL goes down in the middle of that, and complete team wipe for Squid Squad.
And they comboed the DPS ults, and they pretty much caught everyone with one of them or another, so...
Yep, so this is pretty much the combo of the ultimates from Who Watches the Overwatchers on the attack. We saw just the way they're able to coordinate it and layer it together, and they continue to do it here through the map 4, consistent as ever, as now they're on the final doorstep of finishing the map.
So Bounty Man's D.Va self-destruct does take out Winston, but really nobody else. And so now we're into the final stall here with 4 minutes left and 3 meters to go.
Yeah, they're starting to lose members here, though. Squid Squad starting to defend back. They have that advantage of having the spawn right next to them. As Tay here is saving the reflect, does dash out. He escapes with his life, but barely.
So they are going to at least hold this one more time. And so let's see what the Overwatchers do. No changes coming out. They're just going to trust this Earth Shatter and the Valkyrie to carry them home.
Yeah, Mr. Bumble did miss the Earth Shatter on the last time, so that did afford them the last push, and why it didn't go so well, but has another Earth Shatter ready to go already. But Konami also does. We see the Battle of the Reinhardt's Shield War first, but Domster comes in with a double kill on Tay and Venard, and this is going to open it up here. Squid Squad, do they decide to push in off the back of that pick?
I think I would. I think you've got to snatch every advantage that you can get at this point if you're the Squid Squad, and you especially have to take out that Mercy.
Yeah, that's right, and they do get the kill onto Mr. Bumble, and again, Konama just having his way with his counterpart. Mr. Bumble goes down twice to the hammer of Konama, but here comes Juice reinforcing for the background. That's going to be Tay jumping in with a Dragon Blade, gets 3 Ks already, and just one more goes down. Brick falling just like his namesake.
Can they stall one more time? D.Va's going to be able to get on the point quick if she doesn't get bullied off, which she does.
Ooh, the Earth Shatter. The last Earth Shatter matters most. Mr. Bumble making sure that they're keeping the contest from happening. Man, I mean, could you have it any other way for Who Watches the Overwatchers? Tay with a 4K Dragon Blade? Come on. I mean,
that's been the way the entire 4 map set's gone.
Yeah, no. Now they got to reply to this blazing pace. 2:52 left. They did.
That's a fair bit of time. Yeah, they did stall a little. I've seen better attacks go through on Gibraltar, but Squid Squad's going to have a hard time matching that.
Yeah, for sure. And you got to imagine, like, that was at least a minute and a half stalled maybe from those defenses and between the pause. So would have been absolutely insane for their time left had they continued the momentum. So we'll see here. Squid Squad though prepping with a Bastion. What do you think of that, Mukai?
I think it's a desperation move. I think they're gonna. Looks like they're going to switch off. I thought they were going to try to go full protect the president on the payload, which it could have worked.
They swapped it. Yeah, Brick now on the Bastion. To protect the president is a thing.
Yeah,
there's a thing on escort.
I mean, it can get them at least to the first point. I mean, there are counters to it. If they bring forth a Pharah and a Junkrat, it's going to get ugly, but I mean, it might be what they need to at least get some momentum rolling.
Yeah. Yeah, this is great. I mean, Squid Squad have to put themselves in a position to win here, right? And so here's the person to watch out for, though. Of course, can Brick land the damage from Sentry Mode, but also can Bounty Man, Peel, can keep Brick protected, right? Because when you have the divers jumping onto your Bastion, can you keep him safe?
And they're going to try to start setting up on the payload. Brick is about to get set.
Oh no! Bounty Man goes down though early on, baiting out that res, but it might be okay, right? Actually, never mind. That's going to be Tay jumping in, and we talked about it. Can you keep the Bastion alive? Answer is no. Who Watches Overwatchers starting to get the kills here, as Dumpster is only left. He does have that Bio Grenade anti-healing, but no one else left except for this lonely Anna who goes down very late. The staggering Squid Squad.
Yeah, and when you're the tanks, you can't just abandon a stationary Bastion on the payload like that, because that's just asking to get them mulched immediately like what just happened.
For sure, and now get to see Venard already 92% with the Deadeye. And wait for Konama to have the shield down here, so we'll watch it out. Who Watches Overwatch are starting to take a lot of damage here. Brick finding the damage now. Just have to worry about under here. They do have a Zarya behind enemy lines though, but that's something that they can manage. So Squid Squad's still going to push up through and about to hit point 1.
Yeah, and it's going decently enough so far. There are counter plays that the Overwatchers can pull out, but looks like they're at least going to be able to get point 1 here, if not this push on the next.
And now comfortably in the protective president position, damage boost onto the Bastion, and they will roll right into point 1 pretty easily there. After they get the right position and get the setup going, a little bit slow off the start, but now see if they can continue the momentum.
And the Overwatchers are a little strung out. They've got multiple people way too far forward trying to deal with that Bastion. So if the Squid Squad can capitalize on this, they could push this real far.
And look at that target selection. Brick and LOL combining together to get the Mercy, get those supports first, and then deal with the tanks later. That's exactly what you want to do. Is Renard is on the back line here, just caught out AFK a little bit. He was just sleeping at the wheel. Maybe he's taking a swig from his, I don't know, he's just carrying around a flask with him.
LOL gets a great pick on Bernard, too, to stagger things out a little.
And there we go. This is the momentum that they needed here, Mukai. This is the one that you talked about, just swinging on straight through. But we do have the ultimates coming out. Tay has that Dragon Blade and is able to get a lot of kills here. A lot of red there. Overwatchers can be wiping out quite a bit. President is dead, so they have to return to spawn.
That almost pushed all the way through. It's going to be interesting to see how quickly Brick tries to get rid of that ult and change, because the Presidente strategy is kind of brought up limp now. It's hard to get it back once you lose that initial momentum.
Yeah, going to need a big opening, and now Mr. Bumble on the Pharah too.
Bernard's being sneaky up top.
Uh-oh. Does he have the room? And he does pop the Deadeye. Oh, but he drops down, which means he's going to be out of view here. So Konami going to be moving up. Yep, that is an oopsies, but could come around here. Could still get the kills. Now he's going to sneak back as Brick falls in the backside to Tay. Again, when one falters a little bit, the other picks up as Tay and Bernard working so well together on the same team.
And Brick gets res before they could switch and immediately gets destroyed. So it's a little heartbreaking for that res to be going down that quickly.
Yeah, that's right. And you saw LOL so close to taking out Bernard as well, but he found the health back and then got killed from behind. He's now...
And Brick's not switching here. They're going to keep trying to make Bastion work.
Yeah. Even though he already used that ultimate, but Bernard falling very low. See if he can retreat to the side. Yeah, he does get to the health pack, so he's going to be all charged up and ready to go with in terms of his health. But he's a little bit out of position. He does already have... Oh, LOL does find the kill on him, so see what else. LOL still has the Dragon Blade ready to go. Could go for Ricky here. Does go for the dash. He's going to get the final blade strike onto it, but Bernard takes him out as LOL was dashing towards his face. But still, the push rages on. Konami still holding on to that ultimate. Gets 2 critical knockdowns with that fire strike, and now should be able to take out. No, but they're called from behind. Bernard with the Earth Shatter from behind, and the combination
timing.
DPS ultimates. Man.
That timing, though, Bernard was able to hold it, and ulted right at the last second, right after the barrage broke down the Rhine shield.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the way we've been seeing this in both matches, the way that they're combining the ultimates, right? You have the cannon barrage to burn down the shield. You think you're safe, but then the shield goes bye-bye, and that is going to be the damage from the rockets as well as the high noon to finalize those kills.
So now let's see what Squid Squad has after that. They only have Nano right now, so they could be waiting to try to Nano tank with Brick. But I think they've pushed it almost all the way back into the heart of the choke here, so they've lost a lot of the advantage they gained early.
Yeah, and LOL going down pretty early, but he does get rezzed and gets a return kill onto Rick. It's going to be 1 support down. They do decide to bring him back, so both teams back at their full. LOL still way in front, as in the backline they're having to deal with Tay. Both Genjis dealing with the backlines, but who watches the Overwatchers doing it better?
And now we've got about 2 pushes left for the Squid Squad before this match is over, unless they can get it to point 2. And they do have tank. They did use the Nano, though. So they're going to be relying on Brick to try to make something happen as Bastion.
Yeah, you see the switch from LOL off of the Genji onto the McCree. They want that flashbang to deal with Tay in the back, but that Tay is already at the Dragon Blade. So we see where they decide to bring that out. And again, Mr. Bumble finding those key picks here. That's going to be Bernard bringing out the Deadeye, finds his counterpart. LOL going down as well, and now it is starting to fall for the Squid Squad.
And one more chance for Squid Squad, but the Overwatchers, they've got 4 ults ready, and Graviton's probably going to be ready by the end of the fight. So they're going to have to turn around some high odds here to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, you look at how much damage. I mean, we haven't talked much about Mr. Bumble, but doing so much damage from above. They're just so worried about this Genji in the backline that they're just letting this Pharah just rain. But here comes now Tay popping that ultimate. baits out. Yeah, the Transcendence is going to layer on top of this to make sure they're staying all safe here, as now Tay does go down, but no, it gets rezzed actually.
And that's going to be just about all she wrote here.
Yeah. It's 1 second left. I don't think anyone can touch it, and that's going to be the end of the game. 3 versus 1. Who watches the Overwatchers take the series 4-0?
And from the first map, it was pretty obvious that this was a little bit uneven in terms of the quality and communications, but near the end, Squid Squad did start showing a little bit more life. The El Presidente strat on Gibraltar attack worked pretty well up until right at the end of the second point. They did show some good signs of life on Hanamura. It just was a little bit too late, a little too little too late.
Yeah. And when you don't have the skill matchup there to be even, we saw in that hangar phase, Tay on one side and LOL on the other, both in each other's the opposite backlines, but Tay just able to get the kills there, and that's really the difference when you have a Genji who can carry. So now maybe we'll expect and this is why everyone wants to get really good at Genji, right? It's you can control the game in such a way, and then backed up with Bernard as well. It's pretty unstoppable. So we'll look to see who can take down who watches the Overwatchers in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see the rest of their matches in this regular season. And then if, as it looks like they're going to do, they come in first or second in the group, how will they do in the playoffs against the other groups in this division?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have, it's going to take a lot to take him down for sure. And don't know. I would have to look at the division and we'll see in the future for this. But again, just Division 4 play, but this is pretty much equivalent to possibly even 2 divisions up, like Division 2 or 1 even.
They're pretty close. They're probably really borderline to being Division 3 for who watches the Overwatchers. Just because of the way the list works pretty much. So they just missed the cut of being Division 3. I mean, it all really depends on, they did have, a Masters player. Both teams, had at least a diamond and 2 diamonds players and above, but one of the diamonds on the side of the Squid Squad was a support main. So, I mean, it's a bit different, than having, 2 DPS mains that are carrying. As we saw, Vennard and Tay. So Tay's diamond, Vennard is Masters. So, having 2 of those compared to only having 1 DPS that's kind of can carry for a Squid Squad does make a bit of a difference.
So if you're another Division 4 team and you have to play the Overwatchers and you're looking at this VOD, what do you do?
Yeah, this is some good footage to study it for playoffs. Because it's no doubt that who watches the Overwatchers is making it to playoffs. This is going to put them at a 3-0 record. They got 2 games left at least, depending on the size of their division and group. I think.
Yeah, one of the things. Yeah, I think Mukai, responding to your point, what we saw the Squid Squad do that I think if they were to do this over again, if you were to give them one piece of advice, is don't try to be a Tay, don't try to be the Genji that's going to carry the game. You need to be able to peel for your own. So when I'm saying peel, I'm stealing a term from it's commonly used in MOBAs, where you're protecting your carries, right, and where you're protecting your supports. Right, peel is almost like you're just peeling someone who's just jumping into the back line off of the rest of your team, and that's what's the most important part. Because imagine now if they're moving kind of as a ball and they're able to deal with the Genji as he jumps in, or retreat when there's a lot of aggression. Right, dealing with the person who's closest to you first is probably what they should have done here, and which would have been Tay. If you could dealt with Tay, send him off to go get healing and deal with cooldowns, and then push up slowly. That might be one way to combat against that. But yeah, it's just super tough because both Tay and Vernard and the really strong tank play as well, making room for their team.
So any final thoughts? We had 1 game go 2-2. We had 1 game go 4-0. So what's the lesson of the night, y'all?
Play Mercy. Keep playing Mercy until these changes.
Keep killing Mercy.
Yes. No, actually, that's really huge. Yeah, when Mercy comes in for the res,
I would say take out their carries. You got to work on countering their carries. So Bernard and Tay, work. You got to work as a team. And someone else in chat mentioned, like in the beginning of the games, they were playing deathball. They weren't, they were allowing Tay to just, get chain kills with the help, of Venard getting that, high noon to, clear him out. And all of a sudden now you got Tay coming in and just, slashing away.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Yeah, good games. Good games to both who watches the Overwatchers and the Squid Squad, as well as our games prior that tied Animal Planet and Kaiviti. Really was impressed by Kaiviti. They turned that series around. Coming in as the underdogs. They had 400 SR difference between the other team, and
yeah, it's worth noting here that Kaiviti had a bigger SR deficit compared to their opponent than the Squid Squad did here.
That's true.
SR isn't everything.
Yeah. But I mean, you also could see, if people watched the game before and the game now, it was just, complete. You could tell a completely different level of play. And I bet you if we were to have a Division 1 game or Division 2 game being casted, you would see an even bigger difference between, Division 4 and Division 2 or 1. So it's, the amount of differences between these, divisions, the gameplay, it's completely different.
And perhaps next week we will see one of those divisions. Tomorrow in the Discord, we're going to be putting up the form to sign up for week 4. So any team that wants their match cast on this official stream is welcome to apply.
Yeah, and I will say that the 7:30 Central slot doesn't fill up as fast. So if you want to talk to the other team, you're like, hey, we want to try to get on stream. Can you guys play at 7:30? Then it's worth trying, because I mean I'd say it's probably like a 4-to-1 ratio of the teams that sign up that want to play at the official game time and are willing to wait an hour and a half. So yeah, thank you Mushu, thank you Mukai for joining us. If you're new here, be sure to check out our website owuniversity.com, as well as our social media, Twitter and Twitch at OW University, our YouTube as well, OW University, just like all of our stuff, /OW University, put that at the end, and you can go to our stuff. So, come to our Discord if you want to, maybe sign up. We got some events we try to do on Wednesdays, depending on the signups. Season 3, we're about midway through. We still got, 2 weeks plus a makeup week, and then we got playoffs right after that. So if you're looking to join for season 4, I'd say maybe end of November. Maybe we'll do it like something after, probably be after like Thanksgiving, I'd say, for sure. That way, we're not worried about holidays for people signing up. But I'd say, end of November, early December is probably when we're going to start signups for season 4. So be sure to check our Discord, stick around the community, meet some people there. You can always look for people who need teams, or maybe you're a player looking for a team. There's also teams, that need subs here and there. So if you want to, maybe sub for a team, check out the Discord. There's a few threads in there you can find. Also, if you're looking to scrim, maybe your team not able to get into the season 3, you want to, prepare for season 4, you go in there, hop in, find some scrims, prepare your team. So yeah,
for sure.
Thank you Mushu, thank you Mukai Kubo, and hope to see you guys in the future.
Thanks guys.